now listening to a Light Club exclusive. This is a world premiere. Now make some noise for two bad boys, the real Blayst and Surveillant. This is Light Dubs. And that's a big-ass twist.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode here of Light Dubs. I'm here with Serve, Esfand, Canitnerd, and Mobywan, and we're here ready to talk about some Ret Reckoning. Extremely hyped. Season 3 is a great time for Ret Reckoning. How's everybody doing tonight? Serve, how you doing, man?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. It's been really hitting the reps in the arena this week, you know. So and I'm seeing.
Oh, okay. All right. We're God, I hope chat can hear us now. I really hope. Can you guys hear us now? Please tell me you guys can hear us.
I'm watching an ad now because you restarted.
You gotta get that Twitch Turbo.
Yeah, okay, S-Man, you gotta help me out with that after that, man. All right, honestly, I seriously apologize to everybody here. I mean, I hate Comcast. I don't know what else to say. Oh,
dude,
man.
Honestly, here's the thing. I've been having so many tech issues over the last month. I think I'm just cursed. I think I got on your podcast and immediately just crashed your stream. I think that's what happened.
Right when it started, it was just oh man. Okay, well we're not gonna blame that on you. Don't worry. I think we're just gonna blame it on. We'll just blame it on Comcast. That's fine, man. Don't worry. Where were we? I think I was asking Serve how he's doing, and then he started roboting, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Serve, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm just making sure my audio is good now, but I think it is. I think everybody can be able to hear it now.
Yeah. I apologize, like profusely.
Oh, dude, it happens, man. It's not your fault. It happens. But we'll just have, when we do the VOD, we'll just have to splice together the intro and the after the disconnect, but it's no biggie. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've been putting in reps in the arena, doing twos with my shaman finally. I've been focusing kind of on threes this season, but we finally got around to doing twos, and honestly I feel way stronger in twos, so it's been good. We hit 2K yesterday and hoping to go a little further.
You know what's funny is I always thought twos was our worst bracket, like always.
Me
back
too.
in the day, everything.
Me too.
Yeah, but I had the same thing. Like I played in the first couple of weeks of the season, and we hit like 2100 like right off the bat, and I haven't played since because I just haven't played twos. But it's actually nuts, and there's a bunch of rep hounds even at the end of season 2 that were like climbing in twos with Ret Shaman. So I think that's crazy cool because back in the day, like the biggest problem I thought was that we didn't have a silence. If you're playing Alliance, you didn't have a silence, and there's just so much control, and there's so much that you can do in twos, and a lot of times twos is in my opinion the most unbalanced. It's the easiest and it's the most accessible because you only need 2 people to play, but it's kind of unbalanced because the game's not really balanced around 2v2. You can have like Mage Rogue, for example, is really good. You have Rogue Priest, you have Mage Priest, you have all these comps that are really good, but I always thought that Ret was pretty weak, and I actually don't feel that way anymore, and I don't know what exactly changed. I think maybe we just got like better at the game, and I think the big thing is I think Shamans got a lot better because I think Resto Shamans are now I like the most aggressive healer in my opinion. I mean, you could have really aggressive priest too, but I just think like having a badass Resto Shaman who's running there and like shocking, and you drop in like a chain lightning to help finish or something like that, it's such a huge deal. And that's a lot of, I think it actually comes from retail WoW. Because in retail WoW, that's kind of how Shamans play, is with Wind Shear and stuff like that, is they play very, very aggressively. And back in the day, we didn't play like that. And Holy Paladins were a lot more popular back in the day too. So when you see, like, they're more popular back in the day because I think they're a lot more passive gameplay than like a Resto Shaman. Now Holy Paladin's not that popular.
Well, yeah, people in general do a lot more damage now, so a comp that's just based around just doing a bunch of damage like Ret Shaman is way stronger now than it was back then. And on top of that, this iteration of Ret just didn't exist for what, like 60% of real TBC, maybe less. I forget exactly how much, but most of it just didn't even exist, so it wasn't even an option.
Yeah, no, that's it for sure. Because I remember it was 2.3 patch. So that's whenever I had good rating, was season 3 originally, and then season 1 and 2, I got like I got 1800 something. I did okay, right? But season 3 was really whenever it picked up, and a lot of that was because we didn't have any resilience. If you guys remember back in the day.
Well, I mean, yeah, even
Yep.
even
Yeah.
now, like we gained 100 resilience just from putting on our new gear, while every other
Yeah.
class gained like 20 or something.
Well, so back then it was all the itemization for resilience went to spell power
Yeah,
for us.
yeah. Literally
So
zero resilience, yeah.
yeah, so it was like really rough. But it was funny because I think there's some things that are more interesting about us using spell power, like being able to off heal and stuff like that. But the gameplay of arenas and what it is if you start healing and stuff, sure, like in a clutch moment, like you might drop a heal or something that saves somebody, but you're like playing a losing battle if you're stuck trying to heal. So it ended up being better overall. It's a little bit less interesting, I think. That's one of the strengths of like vanilla versus Burning Crusade and later expansions.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think Ret is definitely in a way better position here in season 3 than it was in season 2, and I think going into season 4 we're gonna be a little bit more spicy, and I can't wait to talk about that because I know Ken has some interesting tier ideas going on into season 4. But Moby, Ken, how are you guys doing today?
I'm great. Feels good to be back, and feels like I am the one who's going to represent the Crusader Strike build,
Oh,
as
nice.
well as the Red Rogue. So I'm
Yeah,
looking
you're
forward to
representing
that.
a lot of taking a lot of diversity, boss. Because right now you're playing Ret Rogue, you're European, and you're playing CS. So that's
There we go.
without you, it'd be very homogenous in here.
And I got season 3 swords, so maybe that's a controversial thing as well.
Sword.
Ooh.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
I don't know
go.
about that one, man.
Okay.
I don't know about that one.
So I guess I'll just get this out of the way. Is it me, Moby, and Serve who don't have Torch of the Damned? I saw Esfand got one the other
I
day.
literally just got it. So
I think Moby has it now, right?
Moby, do you have it?
Yeah.
Oh
Got,
my god.
Yeah.
I'm saving for my weapon right now because
Ugh.
I didn't want to have to spend 4K on an arena weapon, but I have all my big pieces now. So besides gloves, so I was just saving up for it now. But yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I have one more chance to get it before phase 4 on Wednesday, so we'll pray.
Okay, how about that?
Also,
How fast they're coming out with that? Like this is the thing Blizzard does. This is like a kind of side topic, right? It's not a paladin thing, but they find a way to always do. They find a way to take forever to do anything, but whenever they do something, they do it with no notice. So they're too slow and too fast at the same time, and then people are all of a sudden like, "Wait, what the hell?" Like you're just like dropping on this in like a week, like and nobody knows, right? I don't know why Blizzard does this. I think it's so obnoxious. It's so annoying.
Yeah,
Because like,
I
go
thought
ahead.
it- I thought it was so quick, like the 1 week thing. I mean, I knew it was gonna be like maybe a 2 week notice, but it was just I was just streaming, and then all of a sudden somebody's saying, "Hey, it's coming out next week. Are you ready?"
I know I was not ready
Yeah.
for it. I thought they would give us more heads up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pleasant surprise for it to come this early though, because
Yeah,
like I was kind of bunkering down for like a 5-month season. So yeah, it being
Yeah.
this short is definitely good, I think. And then hopefully they continue to do this kind of thing with like other stretches in Classic that we know are going to stretch on, like Tier 7, for example. And
yeah. Well, I've heard Sunwell is gonna be coming sooner than we all think. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess late May, early June for Sunwell.
Yeah,
I
I
would say
think
that too.
I think sometime in the summer for Sunwell would be okay. I do think Wrath probably needs to come out and at the latest early next year. But I think Wrath
I
should
think
be
it'll
like
probably be
November-ish.
sooner than that.
Yeah, I
I
think it should be around November.
Yeah, I hope it is around that time. It'll be kind of fun to get into Wrath, and honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to playing some Death Knight. I won't lie. So S-Man, how long you been playing WoW, man? Did you play any private servers? How long you been PvPing, especially on a Ret Paladin?
So for me, I didn't play a whole lot of Burning Crusade private servers because, you guys all know like Burning Crusade private servers weren't really like that popular or even that good years ago, and I kind of got into the whole thing with Elysium, Light's Hope, all that. I started making videos. I was actually in between jobs, so I started making videos, and then my videos of vanilla Ret Paladin stuff just started like popping off because there wasn't really a whole lot of people doing a lot of stuff. So it was me and Drakova, who I've known like forever, and we started doing videos together on that channel. And yeah, I mean that's basically how we got started. It was all vanilla Paladin stuff. So it was fun. Like we used to do like everything together, like just like go outside Ironforge and just like lab for hours on like just okay, let's like do this, let's test this, let's test that. We'd find something out and then we just test it again just to like double check, and it was a good time. I really do miss that actually. When it came to Burning Crusade, ironically enough, I wasn't that good at vanilla back then. I think a lot of people weren't, but I wasn't that good at vanilla back originally, like an original classic, original vanilla. Usually I say vanilla and classic. When I say classic vanilla versus, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm so used to confusing the hell out of my stream, especially when I'm talking about WoW to people who don't play WoW, and they're just like, "How many versions of WoW are there?" And I was like, "Can't even explain."
There's too many.
Yeah. But basically, what happened was I was not that good at original vanilla. I played a paladin from like week 1 of the game coming out, but I played Paladin, wasn't that good. I got really good in Burning Crusade. So I was like the highest Alliance rated, or I was the highest rated Alliance Ret Paladin in 5s on my battle group in Season 3. And our team captain, he was like depressed and stuff and like quit the game cold turkey and like didn't hand the team to anybody. And we were just like, if you guys remember back in the day, there was a 90-day timer on teams going inactive. And then you wouldn't get credit for, you wouldn't get credit for your,
Rating.
arena team for your rating. And that's what happened to us. We're just holding out and hoping the season would end before 90 days, and it didn't. God. So yeah, we were in glad range. Actually, yeah, like we were. I don't know if we would have 100% been in glad range on the night at reset, because like it was like a week before and it was like, damn, those 90 days. But we were glad range, and it was like there was 2 blood elves ahead of me. There was me on the ladder, because for some reason Blizzard used to have a better website 15 years ago. But you would have, there was 2 blood elves, me, and then the entire rest of the first page was blood elves until the bottom. There was like some dwarves and humans mixed in at the very bottom at like 1900 rating. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy, right? Like back then it was like a lot less active, but a lot of it had to do with the stigma, right? Like people had a bad reputation for Ret Paladins from vanilla, from Season 1, from Season 2. Part of the reason why, there's 2 reasons, but one of those reasons is you saw more paladins playing horde because the stigma wasn't there and information wasn't as prevalent as it is now, right? Where everybody knows everything. So you had people playing horde. They were like, all right, let's just try paladins. It's like, oh wait, these guys are pretty good. But they were doing well, a lot of them without twisting, because back then, not everybody knew how to do that. But also Alliance paladins didn't have twisting at all, right? Or like we could with righteousness, but it just wouldn't have been worth it. Us having Seal of Blood now is just, it makes such a massive difference. So
huge difference.
And the silence too for PvP.
Yeah, I mean, as much as like a lot of people shill like the no changes kind of philosophy, giving Alliance Seal of Blood is like the only real play. Otherwise, they would be totally irrelevant in PvP, in raid. Nobody would play Alliance Ret. It would just be a horrible class. So I'm really happy that they decided to do that. I mean, a lot of people I was actually surprised at how much backlash that decision got. Honestly, I felt like it was not controversial at all. And there was a couple private servers that did that too, and like
it was the logical decision. I think the backlash from that, it wasn't like real backlash. It was people are always mad about like
no changes type stuff.
It's more than that though, right? It is no changes type stuff they get mad about, but I think what else they get mad about is like, why does he get this? Why does that guy get this? Like, why not me? I want that. Why does he get it? And it's super weird because what ends up happening is a lot of decisions end up getting made that are not in the best interest of the game. Whenever that happens, whenever you think about that too much. So like I have an opportunity still, like even though I don't stream WoW as much as I used to. And a lot of times I'll be doing like arenas like late night when on my alt channel or something. Outside of the subathon, like I've been playing one because I'm doing this. Well, frick, I almost knocked this over. I'm doing a subathon now, and it's just like I'm doing everything. But normally I do it on my alt channel, and I just kind of like chill, whatever. It's like not like a normal stream, but it's having an opportunity to like talk to devs and stuff, especially from the early like the development of Classic and stuff. Like I got really lucky that Blizzard would kind of like back and forth with me, where we could have an opportunity to talk to them about things like seal twisting and getting that put in, getting Seal of Blood for the Alliance. There was a bunch of stuff. And I mean, they don't listen to everything, but there's like a bunch of stuff that like they actually listen to feedback on, and the community gets behind it. And it's really, really good that they listen to that stuff, because I actually think Burning Crusade probably would have been miserable if they didn't give Alliance Seal of Blood, or they took twisting out, and it just would have been so bad. For me, anyway. I probably would not have nearly as much fun as I'm having now.
I don't think I would have played Paladin if twisting wasn't in the game, for sure.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, it relies on it. Not only is it rely on it for like viability in terms of damage, it's just not a fun class to play really if you're not twisting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
and that's kind of why I'm not super excited about Wrath. I mean, I'll play it. I'm not sure how much. I'm not sure if I'll play Ret yet, if I'm gonna enjoy it. Like Divine Storm's cool and all, but not having twisting and that super like engaging rotation that changes all the time is
yeah,
like
this isn't the time or the place for my TED talk about why Wrath is bad, but it's definitely it's got its pluses and minuses.
That's funny. I quit an original Wrath too at the beginning. Because I didn't like how Paladin played. I know it was stronger, but it wasn't nearly as fun. I had way more fun playing Paladin in Burning Crusade than I did in Wrath. And I'll probably play Wrath, and I'll get to experience it and all this stuff. But originally, I quit. I got to level 75 and quit. So I'll probably still play it and do all that. And then once I'm done with Wrath, I'll probably be done with. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know, man. 10-man heroic. 10-man heroic rating's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
So just to, I guess, kind of mention this, the stream is hanging a little bit there. Like the audio is fine, but the video every now and then it like hangs for a couple seconds. So sorry about that. There's really nothing we can do about it. It's kind of just on Comcast. So
Yeah.
hopefully it just gets better. I just figured I'd mention that. Like we are aware of it. We're hoping that it gets better, but just nothing we can do about it. But good thing that the audio is fine though. So
yeah, I do apologize for that, guys. My internet was perfectly fine right before the stream started. I don't know what it is, and I am moving here in a couple months, so that should be good.
Yeah. So, but Canitnerd, I know we asked you this last time we had you on the show, but like, what's your experience with PvP, with Paladin, with TBC in general?
Way back in real TBC, I was a holy paladin and got gladiator clicking with the warlock for what it's worth. I was enslaved to playing warlock paladin, and I've sworn never to do something that miserable ever again. And other than that, I mean, I played some TBC private servers, but I didn't really PvP on them because back then there wasn't much of a scene like there was on Endless and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Arena never really grabbed me outside of doing the bare minimum to get my dragon slaying gear outside of TBC.
So you didn't play Ret in PvP until Classic TBC.
No.
And you got rank 1. That's crazy.
I mean, it's not. I'm really good at Q dodging. Is the real key to it.
So being the resident like Reckoning prophet, I want to ask you like, because like this season it seems like everybody plays Reckoning. Like literally every paladin I run into is Reckoning except for like a small handful, and most of the time they don't have a shaman, which is understandable. So like, I want to ask you like, how much do you think you played a part in people playing Reckoning just by virtue of getting rank 1 as Reckoning and kind of showing that it's viable and that it's just as good, if not better, than CS? Like, how much do you think you actually played a role in that? Because I think I don't know. I mean, the PvP episode where we had you guys on and we talked about Reckoning, I mean, it like, don't get me wrong, a lot of people watched it, but like it wasn't insanely popular or anything. So like, I'm wondering, if you think you played a role in that at all, because like everybody plays Reck now.
I mean, I shilled it to high heaven, right? I was in the channels. I was telling everyone who asked me that Reckoning was better. I was talking to other paladins and saying Reckoning is better, and I just think Reckoning is better. But I don't think I should like the person who got the whole not the whole Ret Paladin TBC thing, but like the people playing on a Classic mostly is Speank, making all those videos from Endless.
Yeah.
Like I definitely I think played a role bringing Reckoning more mainstream for Classic, but he was the one who that's how I learned that it was even a thing, was watching his videos.
Mm.
Because I was going to play a warrior because I didn't think Ret could really hang an arena at all. And a friend of mine showed me Spank's videos, and I was like, oh, okay, well, it looks like it's viable.
Sounds
that
kind of
was
fun.
Yeah, a little bit of a bait considering how broken it was on Endless versus how it is on Classic. But
Absolute bait.
yeah,
Absolute
it
bait.
was a big bait. I think Spank actually ended up baiting a lot of people into that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it all ended up working out.
I don't
Yeah, I
think.
think I'm trying to remember. Those are the so on Endless did Blessing of Sacrifice proc Reckoning?
No, it wasn't that bad. The two big things that I know of, at least, I didn't play Endless, right? But the two big things that I've like seen comparing videos and talking to people was that you could two-way twist, which
Yep.
meant like
Right,
you could
that's
more
huge.
easily utilize every Reckoning proc, and it's just more damage.
Mhm.
And then it would proc off applications of dots. So like if someone put a corruption on
That's
you, it
what
could
it
proc.
was.
Yeah, it could
Mhm.
proc
Yeah.
there.
But there was also
There
something
was something
else.
with judgment, right?
Judgment.
Yeah.
If you judged command, you could still proc the seal of command on that judge and proc a Wind Fury off of it. It was
Yep.
crazy.
Yep.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
insane. It
Damn.
was really
Sounds,
busted.
So you would twist and then judge, and it would be like the
Just
double
like-
twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane amounts of damage.
Yeah.
Moby, as our resident CS shill, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I was gonna say I know you played Reck a little bit with the Shaman earlier in the season, so
Mhm.
maybe you could speak on that a bit. But yeah, anyway, go ahead.
I picked up a shaman from the streets. Basically, he was 1500 rating, and I had an ungeared alt. I spec'd Reckoning, and I told him when to pop heroism when I had a Reckoning proc up, and I started one-shotting people.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
So I thought that was fun. We
Yeah.
climbed to 2K real quick. But that's when all the warrior druids started hard countering us, and
Yeah.
you can't really get, well, at least I couldn't, not with the guy I'm playing with. We couldn't really manage to get past the 2K rating, so
Yeah.
we stopped for about 3 weeks now. In terms of Crusader Strike, though, and Ret Rogue, well, let me talk about Reckoning first, because I tried Reckoning at the start of the season up to 1900, and I thought it was all right, but you have to approach the game differently in
Mhm.
all kinds of ways, because when you run in, you have to be the first one to walk in. If rogue goes in and a warrior, for example, starts bashing your rogue, then your Reckoning is useless. Incredibly obnoxious to be Reckoning when you have a warrior hamstring the hell out of you and
Yep.
you don't get a single Reckoning proc with the druid right in front of you. We tried it at 2300. We dropped 150 rating, I think, with Reckoning.
Oh.
Went back to Crusader Strike and absolutely loved it. It just gives me so much more control of my damage output. And I saw a couple of Russian guys, Alliance players, who played extremely passive with Reckoning, and they went to 2400. So it is possible. But we have this really aggressive playstyle as Ret Rogue with perception, and we're still learning. We're now working on resetting everything with blinds on the kill target, and this is our way to go now. So no Reckoning for us.
So when you
Crusader
said
Strike this.
the Russians who used Reckoning, are they running Ret Rogue as well?
Yeah, there's a horde Ret Rogue who were rank 1 2 days ago. The 2700 rating in twos.
Holy shit.
There's an Alliance team at 2450 as well. They climbed a little bit. And the Alliance players are playing Reckoning. At least I saw from Calamira's stream.
Yeah.
So, I guess you
yeah.
think that. So for Ret Rogue, you feel CS is better, which I think I would probably agree with. But for Ret Sham, I would guess that you would say it's like equal or maybe even a little better. Or still unsure, jury's still out.
No. I really liked playing together with the shaman and telling him when to pop his heroism. For example, starting a rogue and just smashing him from 100 to 20. He gets healed for 20 to 100, and then you smash him from 100 to 0.
Yeah.
That's just incredibly fun. So I think with the shaman, especially if you're starting shaman red, then pick Reckoning and get used to spamming in your shaman and give him freedom and coordinating everything. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, one of the problems for me was the first 2 seasons we didn't really have a shaman to play with until the end. Like we in season 1, I was like 2 or 3 wins short of Glad, and actually it was funny. We went up against like Peekaboo and Venruki and or not Venruki, Peekaboo and Zaryu and that whole team, and we knocked each other out of Gladiator. Like we beat them like 3 times in a row, and then they beat us, and then we ended up knocking each other out of Gladiator. But I didn't have a shaman, and I do think the strength of Reckoning it really shows with a shaman because you can obviously you can seal twist Reckoning into a win for your proc. It's disgusting, right?
Mhm.
And in season 1, I split. I still split. Sometimes I play Crusader Strike, sometimes I play Reckoning, but I split a lot more in season 1 without having a shaman. But whenever we made that push at the end of the season, or really it was the last week of the season that we even put that team together because I was trying to get Glad, and I switched to Reckoning, and I thought it was way better because I had so many open globals. The
Yeah.
damage, the consistency of the damage hurts not having Crusader Strike if you're not getting hit or whatever. But having so many open globals, and in that comp, I think we played Priest, Druid, Mage, Rogue, and then myself, Ret. And just having the ability to have open globals and just spam cleanse the whole time and be able to control a little bit more and kind of play like a pure support role. And if I happen to get a Reckoning proc, be able to go in on somebody was kind of nice.
For sure.
I think once you get that dopamine hit of one-shotting somebody for the first time, it's really hard to go back. It's like, it's so addicting. Like, oh, I just took this guy from 100 to 0 in a single swing. How can you top that? Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
I always found the hardest part about Crusader Strike spec was, dispelling. Like I'm just constantly in a global with Crusader Strike spec, it
Well,
seems.
I honestly don't know how many globals you actually like end up opening up because you are, yeah, you're not Crusader striking, but you're twisting every
you're
swing
twisting
instead.
Mhm.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
I think it is like it's more of a mental thing of like I'm not watching a Crusader Strike cooldown. I'm not trying to
Yeah,
line up a Crusader Strike to land at the same time as something else. I'm just doing my twisting, which is kind of muscle memory at this point, and
I
spamming
think
spells.
that's
Also,
something that
the mana from
Yeah,
Crusader
the
Strike is
mana's
really high.
yeah, the mana's a
yeah,
big
Yeah, true.
part of it. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's something that a lot of people, it's kind of like ingrained into their head maybe from Raid that like Crusader Strike's off cooldown. Okay, I use it now. When like, if you look at a lot of the top Crusader Strike players like Reddy and Calamera when they played CS, like they're not CSing on cooldown every time. Like they're passing it up for a dispel here and there. They're
Well, yeah,
saving it until after their auto goes off.
yeah. It's
Mhm.
also it's partially it's not just that Crusader Strike is better sustained, right? Crusader Strike is more of you can control when your burst is because you can land a melee with a seal up, Crusader Strike, and Judge all in the exact same global, which
Yeah,
Right.
isn't as much as an actual twisted Reckoning hit, but it is still a lot of damage that you can guarantee happens.
yeah,
Mhm.
all at the same time for
And
sure.
making sure you're lining that up does take a little bit of looking at that, and I think that means people dispel less when they're looking for that,
Mhm.
as opposed to just twist, 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 twist.
Yeah,
Even pressing your Crusader Strike at the end of a swing and you get a lucky Seal Command crit as well.
Yeah,
It's massive.
Yeah, just all at once.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a discount Reckoning, but it's guaranteed. So
Yeah.
Um, so who are you guys playing for arena partners right now? I think Moby, you're still playing with St. George Can. I believe you're playing with Kilowave still. Esfand? I don't know. Am I correct?
So for me, I mostly play fives now. So it's me, Grayson, uh Trill Grayson plays mage. Like everybody knows that already, but
Mhm.
Grayson plays mage. And then Trill or Nicholas play warrior. Settle is our shaman, and then we have a priest who's Eric the cleric. So that's our fives team. Dude, I'm so burned on threes. I'm so sick of seeing double healer warlock, double healer. I'm like I don't even want to push. I'm 1800 in threes. I played like the first week and then we didn't even play like with our real team. We just played a few games and then just bounced. I'm like I don't like that my threes. I want it to be over 2K so it like at least looks pretty. So I have all twos. But man, I'm focusing on fives this season. That's the main thing.
yeah. I think threes is a hard bracket for Ret. I mean, you can do pretty good with like Ret Warrior Sham, Ret Mage Sham.
Mm-hmm.
I know that a lot of the top players have kind of transitioned from Ret Warrior Shaman to like Ret Mage Shaman in threes, but like at the
Yeah.
same time, like they just don't get as high in threes as they can in twos.
Yeah.
And like they just, I don't know. It's just you don't have like when you're playing twos, you have a lot of favorable matchups. You have any double DPS, you're pretty much going to win unless it's Rogue Mage. Then you have like a 50-50 shot. If you're Reckoning, you have a good shot against like any melee or hunter plus healer kind of team. If you're, like any of those, like there's so many good matchups that you're at least half 50-50 favored in twos. But when you get to like threes, like there's so many like PMRs which are like hard to win. Not impossible, obviously. Like you have a decent chance still, but like if they play it well, it's very rough. And there's so many of them. And there's also like so many WLDs and WLPs and they get really tough at high rating. Like I don't know, we've been playing at 2K for a little bit now, and we've just been struggling to get above like 2100. But like in
There's like
twos,
a
I feel
wall.
so strong. Yeah.
In threes, there's like a wall. Well, really in every bracket, there's kind of a wall. I guess in fives less than the others, but where you start seeing certain comps a lot because there's just a bunch of people like trying to like break through that bubble. Like actually, at the end of last season in fives, did you guys see that? Not in fives, in threes. At the end of last season in threes, there was a bunch of like gladiator teams, even like rank 1 teams that dropped like 200 rating, 200 to 300
Yep.
rating.
Yeah.
And everybody like I was over glad the entire. I transferred to Benediction, so I play on a Benediction now. Transferred to Benediction, got back with Settle, our shaman, and me and Grayson, and so we got over glad again. We were over glad the whole time, and then we just spam queued into double healer hunter, double healer warlock, double healer, and apparently I thought it was just us, and I was like, wow, this blows, and we lost like 200 rating, ended up not getting gladiator in the last 2 days. It's like the entire bracket like shifted 200 points, and all these double healer teams floated to the top. It was like, it was insane. So, like, I mean, a lot of people who already had their glad and stuff and were safe glad were fine, but it was actually insane how many double healer in the last week of the season was. It just completely, it like blew my mind.
I think healer is a pretty strong meta right now for threes, but like I think that's one of the matchups we're pretty favored against. Is double healer like warrior. We have trouble against double healer warlock, which we actually ran into yesterday, and it was really rough.
Yeah,
But
it's so annoying.
Yeah,
I'm like super pro. Like, you gotta nerf that. I'm like, I know. I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure Blizzard was actually actively looking at trying to find a way to nerf it, but it's really hard to. This is what's hard about balance in Classic a lot of times, and I do think this is, if you're able to balance it, it's really good game design. But it's also why they kind of moved away from it after Wrath, especially. So I'm going to speedrun history lesson. Kevin Jordan was the original class designer for WoW, Burning Crusade, and Wrath, and he was in charge of everything. After Wrath, Kevin Jordan was then, he wasn't working on WoW anymore. He left, did other stuff, and then they brought in somebody else. But I think they didn't just bring in somebody else; they brought in like a team to work on the game, and that's whenever we had Cataclysm switched it from playing a class to playing a spec, right? And it's like, you are a Ret Paladin, you're listed as a DPS. If you're a Holy Paladin, you're listed as healer, right? Prot tank. The thing that makes that easy, it's easier to balance your class when you think of your class as a damage dealer, or when you think of your class as a healer, as opposed to, okay, well, this is the whole of what a paladin is. And now that goes across the board to every class. So like if you want to try and adjust double healer and nerf double healer, how do you do something that affects only PvP and not affect PvE? Oh, thank you. Only affects PvP and not affects PvE. You know what I mean? And
It's harder.
even if you want to nerf a class, even if you want to nerf just one class, like let's say warlocks are like snowballing out of control, and they're just like super strong now. Well, how do you nerf warlocks without nerfing them in PvE? You just like you probably, but it's not easy, right? You'd have to nerf things that they don't use in PvE at all, right? It ends up being like a whole mess, right? And that's most of the reason why I think Blizzard doesn't want to touch stuff.
I think it's better to not touch it, right?
Yeah, for Classic, definitely not. I mean, because when stuff's imbalanced in Classic, you just say, well, that's how it was. You know, it is what it is. You got to deal with it.
Yeah.
But in general, it's just them trying to make a competitive game out of a a genre that I think is by its nature just not very competitive. Like,
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
how can you really claim your game is, you know, competitive test of skill when who has more gear factors so much into it?
first
Yeah.
they came for the warlocks, and I did not speak because I was not a warlock, and then they came for the reckoning, and no one was left to
I
speak
don't
for
think
me.
they'd ever come for the reckoning. I think we're pretty far down the totem pole of stuff that needs to get nerfed.
Yeah.
What
No,
about
I
if you
think.
use what about if you use reckoning in PvE though, Can? I
I'm
mean,
working on it.
Oh,
working
yeah,
on
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Tell us about that.
Just I showed up to raid this week on accident as Reck PvP spec and decided just to throw on some resilience gear. So I was crit immune and tank rage winter chill because he hits really weak. And when I was getting Reck procs at the beginning, I was bursting just insanely high, like 5-6k DPS. And it's making me really want to try and actually build a spec that can tank some of those weaker hitting bosses and just do insane damage.
So my question to that
Make
is,
that happen.
did you die?
No.
You
'cause
didn't
he
die.
doesn't hit hard.
You tanked the whole boss.
Yeah, I mean, he's a rage winter chill. He doesn't hit for
Like
anything.
98 too. I saw the log. It was crazy.
Yeah, well, it's just because I fell off at the end. Like, I got 3 Reckoning procs in the first 20 seconds and none the rest of the fight. If I kept getting Reckoning procs, I would have done a lot more damage.
Interesting.
I thought about that when I got fell raged on Blood Boil. I was like, you know, it would be great if I had reckoning right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like if you can find a way to make it work, I think that'll be really funny.
It's just, it's so annoying to me how the fires, like in Orgrimmar, right? Like the random bonfires, you'll run past them and get hit by fire and it'll proc Reckoning. But
Mhm.
nothing in raid will do that. If there was just like little fire, you know, little braziers somewhere in a raid, you could stand on and get Reckoning procs. I'd be having so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm wondering how I can actually get myself in the position where I can actually reckoning tank. I don't think Dr. Kale would like that too much.
Well, that's why you just accidentally show up as Reckoning spec. Worked for me. Man.
Oops.
You
Sorry.
accidentally leave Righteous Furion.
Sorry. Yeah. Ooh, clicked off south, you know. So, you know, moving into Wrath of the Lich King, what do you guys have for your plans and stuff like that? Are you going to play Ret in Wrath? You can play PvE, PvP? How do you feel about the, you know, no twisting? How do you feel about gaining Divine Storm? Let's start with Esfand.
I think no twisting is actually going to be like a huge I think it's going to be like a massive thing that makes the game less fun for me. Cuz I love seal twisting. Divine Storm was cool. Like I remember back in the day whenever Divine Storm was added and Wrath pre-patch was a lot of fun, but I think compared to having Seal of Blood now and being able to seal twist now, cuz I didn't have that. I don't see how we'll be able to I don't know. I don't see it being as fun, but we'll see. I mean, having more AoE damage and being able to do more like cleave stuff in PvP is also fun, right? Like because that's one of the things that I had to get used to. So I started playing retail arenas in Legion. Like I quit WoW for a lot of years, a whole lot of years, and then I came back for Legion, and I think the Legion meta was like there was a whole build that you would do with paladins where they would just go and just cleave and hammers and spin and this and that. And I played with Savix, and that's what we did. And he was like, "Yeah, dude, just cleave, just spam Divine Storm the whole time." I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay," and it was nuts actually because we just stay clumped together and we would just do a bunch of damage and they just couldn't out heal it. Or it was nuts when it worked, I should say. But having a little bit more of that in Wrath, I think is going to be interesting. It's going to be like I'm playing a whole new game because I like when I say I didn't play Wrath, like I quit at level 75. So I'm kind of excited. Like it'll be a new experience and yeah, I think it'll be fun to I think it'll be fun to check out. We'll see if I like it as much as I like Burning Crusade, but it'll definitely be fun to check out.
Can, how do you feel about Wrath? Let's go. I know you got something.
My distaste for Wrath is well documented, so I'm not going to rant about it too much, but it's definitely, I think a lot of people are going to be going into Wrath looking to play Ret Paladin because there was that period at the start of Wrath with 3.0 with the pre-patch and then into Nax tier where Ret was just absurdly broken and just doing insane damage. Like I remember even my little Holy Paladin that I had back in TBC that had just random trash badge Ret gear. I'd throw that on for 3.0 and just destroy everyone in Isle of Keldanis because it was just blatantly overpowered. And that's not going to be a thing in Wrath. It's going to be straight to 3.3.5. Which where Red is just not nearly as good and is really reliant on their ICC set bonus to do good damage. So people who are going in looking for the insane just wrecking ball that Ret was early on in Wrath aren't going to get that. And then I think the rotation is just worse and almost it's just not as interesting. It becomes just kind of like you put all your glowy buttons on your bar and hit the one that's furthest to the left.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It feels playing Ret and Wrath feels like playing any other expansion, while playing it in TBC, the seal twisting thing is something that doesn't exist anywhere else in WoW. So
I've never had more fun playing WoW ever than playing Burning Crusade Classic.
It's true. It's so true, dude. I did a lot of arena. I mean, not I wasn't like crazy sweaty about it, but like I played a lot of arena on Warmane, on my Rogue. You know, I thought I was enjoying the game a lot. I was raiding a lot on my Rogue. I was like, this is so much fun. Like, oh my god, I was so naive. Red is so much more fun. Like raid and PvP. Like, just the class is like, I'm not just spamming Sinister Strike anymore. I actually like get to do this crazy complicated rotation that like is always changing, and I have to like stay on my toes to do it right. And then like in PvP, like instead of like having these slow methodical games where I'm trying to control people and like, you know, wean their mana down and kind of, you know, over a long game kind of shred them down, I just blast people.
Well,
I
don't
just
worry,
run
you're
in
gonna
and
have that in
blast.
Wrath. Because
Yeah.
Wrath Arena is a little bit bursty. It's just everyone does it. It's not some unique thing Ret can do.
I just don't see how, and I kind of agree on this. Like, I don't see how Ret in PvP could be any more fun than it is right now.
Well, there is that prot Ret thing that I haven't played many Wrath private servers because, as I said, my distaste for Wrath is well documented. But Pret, I mean, this is a nice little meme spec with that prot Ret thing that all the private server players say is insane. So maybe that will be a lot of fun. I mean, I'm not going to judge Wrath Classic before it comes out, but I just think the people who are looking forward to crushing as Ret are in for a disappointment, and then T7 is going to be a dark time because it was boring when none of us had done Nax. Now we've all done Nax for how many months was it?
6.
So yeah, it's going to be that part. They need to hurry that one up.
I think they need to buff Nax in Wrath. It's funny because I was like no changes, memes and stuff aside, like when Classic was first coming out, I was kind of like, you need to account for the times, and it's dumb. I'm telling you, it's almost political about like changes, no changes, and that. Like people get really weird about it. Really weird.
It's just people come from the stance where they don't trust Blizzard to make decisions because they saw, you know, the decisions Blizzard kept making. So
I understand that.
It. Like there are definitely things that just objectively, like anyone who went into Molten Core thinking they were going to have a great time because of the content.
Yeah.
I don't
know. Well, what I'm saying is like, I remember stuff like the issues with the world buffs and this and that. And this, like, I could literally talk about this for hours and hours and hours. But I think that's one thing. But I think as you go farther along, I think most like no changes people are they're over it at this point because they've seen what no changes is. They've seen what no changes.
And I mean, it's everybody's disappointed in how easy Black Temple is.
Yeah. Now, you know what's funny? Tier 5 was amazing.
It was. It was great.
Tier 5 was incredible. Like I don't really like SSC that much. Like I get in there and I don't know if it's the colors or what, but like the actual gameplay of SS or Tier 5, incredible, absolutely incredible. The difficulty was perfect. I think that was the best phase of Classic yet. But you know what's funny? They end up nerfing it early. Blizzard ends up nerfing it early instead of waiting until the patch comes out because guilds are literally quitting because they can't. They're like, oh, we can't clear the content, we quit. And I'm like, what? Like, so these are all these people talking about how hard Classic WoW is and oh, you know, this and that. And then whenever you finally have an actual difficult raid tier, they just bounce and Blizzard ends up. Here's my opinion. I think with this kind of stuff, Blizzard needs to look at it and how do we make the game as good as possible? How do we make the game as best as you possibly can? You got to account for the times. Blizzard has already made certain changes to do that, right? You got to account for the times. What do? They add in Seal of Blood for Alliance, right? You got to account for the times. What do? Okay, well we want to get rid of the batch, right? So they got rid of spell batching, and okay, well if you get rid of spell batching, what happens? Well now seal twisting is broken. Seal twisting's gone. But then they went and manually added it back in. So, I just think the game needs a lot more care and a lot more work. And that's what people liked about private servers is because it was a passion project, right? Sure, there's plenty of private servers where, hey, under the table, people were making money and stuff like that. But the core of what it was a passion project. And people did it because they wanted to play a good version of the game. And that's the thing that I do think Blizzard has gotten a lot better over the years. There was a period of time where everything was like political and they didn't want to touch anything. It was dumb. So I hope that they continue to do that, and they going into Wrath and stuff, they really like hone in on let's make this game as good as possible because I actually think Wrath is going to be miserable if Nax comes out and it's as easy as it was back in the day. Because even original Wrath, I didn't play, right? But I know original Nax came out and it was like what, cleared in a day,
Oh,
and
yeah,
everything
yeah.
was
Yeah.
a joke, and like that's gonna happen anyway, right? That's gonna happen anyway because it's classic and like we've already done all the encounters, we've done all the fights and all that stuff. But now it's just going to be it's going to be way easier. It's just going to be stupid, right?
It will be.
Like, I maybe this is cope,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Sunwell is going to be a breath of fresh air because
I
hope
think
so.
so too. Oh,
they're
yeah.
giving us pre-nerf, and like Maru, I know people are like still gonna clear it in like a couple hours or whatever.
Yeah.
But for the average person, it's gonna be like harder than pre-nerf Kale was, in my opinion. I mean, I've done Maru, some very hard versions on different private servers, and that's a very complicated fight and very difficult. And I think it's gonna be a breath of fresh air for a lot of these people that are kind of disappointed in phase 3 right now. So I'm just kind of hoping that they stick to that. I know they've said multiple times, like even when they were before we even had TBC, I know in their like what was it, BlizzCon, they said, "Oh, we're gonna give pre-nerf Maru. We're gonna take away the spell pushback, but otherwise it's gonna be pre-nerf." And like I hope they stick to that because the first couple bosses are gonna be like the DPS check for Brutalis is gonna be easy to get past, but like I still think the last 3 bosses, is going to be like really tough for a lot of average guilds, and I think that's a good thing for the game. I think it's actually, I think this maybe is controversial, but I think if when you have bosses that are guild killers, like I think it's actually good for the game overall.
So here's my opinion. I think that these things aren't guild killers because you can't clear it. These things are guild killers because individual people are like they're just being a wuss and they can't do it and they quit, right? Individuals. The part where it affects the guild is now the guild has trouble recruiting. Why? Because the attunements are the barrier of entry for the attunements is too high. Right?
Yep.
Now in this ZA patch coming up, all the heroics are now down to honored instead of revered to get into heroics. So now for new level 70s, for alts, for all this stuff, the barrier of entry to be able to even get into the attunements and get your attunements done is way lower. They're getting rid of some of they've already gotten rid of some attunements, but for heroic dungeons to be able to go in, get your gear, get your badges, all that kind of stuff is going to be way better. Everything's going to give badges now, pretty much. Not everything, but a lot of the old content now gives badges. There's a bunch of new badge gear. The ZA patch is incredible. Like this is old Blizzard did such a good job of doing things on accident that ended up being really, really good. So much of like vanilla WoW was an accident. Just having talked to guys like John Stats or Kevin Jordan. Kevin Jordan's so freaking funny, dude. He's like, yeah, we just kind of did that and it just ended up working, right? Like it wasn't like some crazy like genius thing. Like the core of it and like the idea was, okay, let's try this. But the fact that it just like kept working ended up being perfect, And like they designed stuff a certain way and they planned for it to work a certain way, and then it just kind of, oh wait, we just found something else. Well, that's really good. Let's stick with it. So one of the things they did really well is the ZG patch came out, and the ZG patch in vanilla was this unbelievable catch-up patch. New players, alts, everything now have an opportunity to go in and get really good gear to play with people who've already been playing, right? So Blizzard did a really good job of taking that and hey, let's call on what we did with the ZG patch and make Zolaman, right? And then the ZA patch comes in Burning Crusade, and it basically does everything that they did in the ZG patch, and then applied it to the systems in Burning Crusade with the badge justice and everything else, and added a bunch of badge gear in. You've got armor pen gear now. You have haste gear now that you can get from the badge vendors. The way Blizzard approached how they learned from themselves in original WoW is absolutely insane to me. It's so impressive.
So just to kind of, I love this conversation. I could talk about this stuff for hours, but
we keep moving away from PvP. I'm doing that. My bad.
That's where I'm trying to go into. Yeah.
I mean, there was one last thing I wanted to say about Wrath of Lich King, which I think hasn't been said. But that is that I'm looking forward to actually playing with other friends than my Shaman and Rogue friends. I remember playing with every single healer in the game and managing to get up to high rating and such.
Much more viable, yeah.
You're talking about as Ret, Moby?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a lot more comps that are viable, you're saying?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
saw some of
That's
Moby's
what I
old.
really liked
Yeah.
I
about it.
saw some of Moby's old Wrath videos on Warcraft movies. It was funny. I was like, "Hey, look, it's Moby." And he's like playing in 2008 or whatever.
Hell yeah.
But yeah. So
Nice.
to kind of bring it back to PvP. I mean, we already kind of talked about a lot of the differences between like Rec and CS. I mean, obviously, like Rec is a huge like damage gain, and it kind of punishes people for peeling you, or just attacking you in general. But I think something we haven't really talked about a whole lot is the Divine Shield talent, and I think that's kind of the star of the show when it comes to Rec. You know, like it gets rid of that attack speed penalty on Divine Shield, gives you 6% stamina, which is good too, and also shortens the cooldown. So like, I mean, in the like when you're going up against certain comps, right? Like warrior druid, right? Like you're on a druid, you're kicking his ass. You get a big fat twist on him. The warrior intercepts you, disarms you, whatever. Procs reckoning. Well, you can just bubble now. You don't have to deal with that. You just bubble and you kill the druid anyway. Like
Yep.
I think that's really like the star of the show when it comes to Rec. Like even when I don't get a Rec proc, I can win just with the bubble a lot of the times.
I actually think Sacred Duty is the strongest part of Rec, the Rec spec. It is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of games where I don't get a single, or I could have not gotten a single Rec proc, and I still would have won just because of the bubble.
Mm-hmm. It just seems so strong. Oh, he's got a
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a I'm at Amaranth's house. This is a cutie patooties
Oh,
sensed
no.
by Amaranth.
Are you gonna do it?
I'm just gonna leave this here. I'm probably not gonna open that. But other
You're not
people
gonna
can.
open
I don't think so.
it? She was ready, man.
She really wants me to.
Yeah, I'm sure we all do too. Go ahead.
When it's full screen, it'll be more fun. Just take it with you.
I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
That's funny. That's funny.
Well,
sorry, I didn't mean to derail the conversation, but
you're good.
no, Sacred Duty. So anyway, Sacred Duty. Yeah, I think Sacred Duty is sick. It turns your Divine Shield into a DPS cooldown. You know.
Yeah.
And that's I think that's the thing. It changes those 2 talent points. Now change the entire gameplay potential that you have. So I love it. I agree.
My warrior still yells at me all the time to pop wings, and I'm like, I don't want to pop wings. I want to bubble and lust. Like, I feel like it's almost universally better for me to just bubble than it is for me to pop wings. Like, maybe if I get a Rec proc and I'm like right about to twist, it would be better to pop wings in some scenarios. But like most of the time when I pop wings, I'm just getting CC'd until wings are gone, or they're just getting taken away immediately by a dispel.
Yeah. It's funny. So I have the problem of like sometimes I wings too much on accident. Not on accident, but like I have that same sort of inclination of like the wings is more
Fun.
It's almost like it's cooler, it's more fun. It's more it's also more reliable in terms of getting the consistent damage out, kind of like Crusader Strike, but it has a lot of downsides. You can get dispelled, like you said, and then having your forbearance. I think I had a clip that I sent you where I end up like popping wings just because I was like, I pop wings a lot of times to finish is what I do. Like if I'm in an arena match and if I'm in an arena match and I'm like, okay, we can kill this guy right now, and I'm like, if I'm willing to take the gamble, I usually pop wings then, like on like a last hit. So it's different in like PvE, right? Like you want to have as much wings uptime as possible. So let's say a fight lasts like 3 minutes and 20 seconds. You want to, or actually no, let's say a fight lasts exactly 3 minutes. Then you would want to like wings right at the beginning and then wings right at the end, and then you have the maximum amount of uptime that you can have.
Yeah.
But I feel like in PvP, there's so much time where like you're getting kited and you have to move. Like yes, of course, like you want as much uptime as possible, but it's not about like having that DPS. It's about like certain breakpoints, right? Like if you can kill a guy, it immediately makes the game easier.
Yeah,
You know?
I use wings under the assumption that I'm gonna get the one hit, right? Like I hit the Swifty
Yeah.
twists and pop wings, and I assume that one hit's gonna go off and nothing else. It's gonna get
It's
purged or I'm gonna get CC'd. So you just YOLO play to one shot them with the wings click, and if it doesn't happen, you shouldn't have hit wings.
As my good friend Frigg would say, it's the Swifty. It's your
Yeah,
popping
exactly.
Swifty.
Yeah.
Mine's called Swifty. That is the name of the macro.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean so yeah, Sacred Duty is lit, and I think it really helps you like not get peeled off and prevented from like you can make an opportunity out of so many more kill windows. Like, you know, maybe you don't have Hodge or Repent, but like you get a lucky twist on that guy and you just get him to half. Well, okay, now I can just bubble a disarm or bubble a cyclone or whatever and just go ham. So I think it's, yeah, like you guys have said, it's probably the star of the show. But what I wanted to ask you guys is, I know we already talked a little bit about like why Reck is so popular now, and it's kind of just, I don't know if anybody can really say for sure. I think Canitnerd obviously had a part in that, and like so many more Rets are PvPing now, and playing Reck specifically. I wanted to ask you about. I know a lot of the rank 1 players have been kind of reluctant to come around to Reck. Like Reddy is probably the highest rated Red of all time, and he's been playing for like 15 years as CS. So I don't blame him for being like favored towards CS. Although I did see him playing Reck recently, and I know Calamera is kind of starting to come around to Reck. So I guess I wanted to ask, like, at the very highest level, do you think that Reck or CS like edges one or the other out? Do you think that it's a little bit different at that highest level, where maybe the games go a little longer and you have to deal with mana more, and so CS might be a little bit weaker on that regard, or do you think it's just that like these people have been playing CS for so long that they're kind of like hesitant to give it up?
I think that's a big Moby question.
Honestly, I can only imagine that in certain matchup you basically facepalm. You're like, oh, I wish I was Crusader Strike for this matchup. For example, you run into a Warlock and you're just like, ah, shit.
Well, I'm not wishing for
Yeah.
Crusader Strike. I'm wishing I was dead when like you into the Warlock. Sure.
Fair.
But like a Warlock game, you probably lose a Warlock game no matter what, right? I mean, most of the time, unless it's like Warlock Priest when you have a better chance. But like Warlock Druid, doesn't really matter what spec you are. You're probably just gonna lose anyway, right? I mean, that's the way I think about it.
I'd say, yeah, CS takes
That's
you.
how it feels.
CS takes you to like a 15% instead of a 10% chance to beat comps like that, right?
Yeah,
I think the
right?
bigger thing for people like Reddy is like a lot of your strats against comps that you've been, especially in his case, been doing for years and years and years, with how long he's played, are based entirely around your spec. Like the way I handle fighting Priest Rogue, for example, is entirely reliant on Sacred Duty. If I didn't have Sacred Duty, I'd have to come up with an entire new way to approach the matchup. So if I'm playing CS, why would I just swap when I know I can do well as CS?
Yeah. No, I've split a lot of times too. Like where I sometimes I'll play CS, sometimes I'll play Reckoning. But I've noticed myself playing a lot more Reckoning recently. It is nice having Crusader Strike and just having the ability to control like when you want to get a little bit of bonus damage out. I don't know. I think I think it can go either way. I think a lot of it depends on, because you can't really control who you're queuing up against. Like sometimes you'll have a night where you're just getting like spam queued against, you know, a bunch of warlocks or like, you know, double healer again, right, in threes. But in general, I just kind of like spec based on who I'm playing with. Now, what I think is interesting is, are you guys playing Reckoning without a shaman too? Because I didn't fives, and I think that was fine. That in season 1, I think it was fine.
This is kind of my raid oriented brain, but like we know from raiding that Wind Fury significantly increases your chance for a twist to be successful, because if the command doesn't proc on the melee, it can proc on the Wind Fury.
Right.
And I think that with how much you're twisting as Reck, you're sacrificing like a lot of damage on average, and like your twist is just like 8% less likely to go off, which is a big deal when you're trying to secure a kill if you don't have that Wind Fury. So I think if you don't have a Shaman, honestly, you probably just play CS. I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of comps that play without a Shaman besides like Ret Rogue.
Yeah.
And maybe like I think there's a comp like Ret Hunter Resto Druid. But
Yeah.
I think if you're not playing with a Shaman, it's really hard to justify Reck on that basis, because like your twists are just a lot more likely to just not go off.
Yeah. I can't remember. what we played in 3 season 1. I think we went, or I know what we played. I can't remember what rating we got to, but it was me, Grayson, and Eric. And Eric had never actually PvP'd at all in WoW before Burning Crusade. Like Eric is he's one of Grayson's guys, and like Grayson kind of was like kind of he just always plays Grayson. And I think we got to like 21 or 22 without a shaman in 3s. I can't remember how far we got in 3s, but it definitely getting a chance to play with a shaman is like a night and day difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's so dumb. And I played some Reckoning, but I played a lot of Crusader Strike. I almost said Counter Strike. What the hell? I played a lot of Crusader Strike in that first season. But oddly enough, in 5s, I do think in 5s it's almost always better to go Reckoning because there's so many more opportunities for you to step in and like cleanse somebody, and you just have a lot more mana and globals and stuff that you need to use to help out more people. And there's also more random damage that goes out in 5s.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some random like whirlwind or cleave
like
or
that, yeah.
Just something randomly hits you that a proc Reckoning. So I think Reckoning is almost always better in 5s.
I actually, when I tried it last season when I was rank 1 duelist, I tried Reckoning for a little bit, and that's actually when we dropped out of Gladiator range.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I went back to Crusader Strike, and we slowly made our ways back up, but...
I think
what comp were you playing? Was this in 5s?
Yeah, I was playing, we played Ret, Warrior, Mage, Disc Priest, Resto Shaman. A lot of fun. Like, that comp was a lot of fun, but...
It's really good.
I just seemed like I had a lot... It was easy for me to do damage when I was Crusader Strike, for sure. Yeah, dude, that's a lot. It's a really fun comp. I mean, I can see... well, I mean, the priest I was playing with at the time, he's like a god, right? So he was always like, just do damage, man. If I ask for you to dispel me, that's when you dispel me, you know? And it's like, okay, all right, I'll just do damage, you know? So I feel like Crusader Strike is more better burst there in the beginning, especially if they're not touching me at all.
Really? Okay.
I think that in the Light Club Discord, the jury's still kind of out on 5s about what Reck or CS, but like one thing's for sure about 5s is there's, even if you're not getting hit, there's a lot more like kind of ambient chances to get wrecked from like novas and hamstrings and stuff. But like so one of the top comps right now is Stafe. I don't know if you guys know who Stafe is. He plays Ret a bit, and they're like one of the best teams in the world right now in 5s, and they play double Ret.
Ooh.
You know, I've heard of double Ret being pretty decent. Like in the last season, some people were doing that double Ret, and it's pretty decent.
Yeah,
I haven't tried it.
They talk a big game about that comp countering Euro comp, and if that's true, I really want to give it a try because it's
because Euro comp is what screws me too.
Yeah, exactly. So if that's true, it's something I want to play, but I find it hard to believe.
They play like Ret Arms, R Druid, R Sham, and sometimes they swap the Druid for a disc. But double Ret Warrior and then Druid or disc and a Shaman, and it's lit. I mean,
why does it counter Euro comp? Is it just having 2 people being able to dispel?
I think they said they could just run them down.
Double dispel and double bubble and double freedoms, like double sack for the CCs. Like,
I guess I could see it because I know against Euro comp what happens is like all that stuff for me gets kind of like negated, right? Because I'll put up a sack and it just gets purged off. But if you have 2 people with the ability to put up stack, like most teams are just not going to be like thinking about that, you know, especially if you have 2 separate sack targets.
I don't know if they're playing like Reck or not, but I feel like if
one is CS and one is Reck, and they argue about which one they're supposed to play. Is my
I was gonna say because like, I mean, the thing about Ret that's so good is you can force uptime on people. Like you can get on people and they can't stop you with freedom and bubble and all that. So like if you have 2 Rets, like those 2 Reds are pretty much always going to be able to connect for some short period of time at the start of the game. They're always going to get to their target and start hitting. Like no matter what, they're going to get there.
Insane amounts of burst.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. I feel like I would value Reck highly in that situation for the bubble, but I mean, whatever they're doing is really working because they are one of the top in the world.
You're saying that the double Ret team is running both Reckoning?
No. One was Reck, one is CS. Last time I talked.
Okay, interesting. A little bit of diversity there. So you guys think that Reckoning does require a specific teammate to really fully shine? I mean, if we take Mobywan for example, he's running Ret Rogue, he tends to run the CS. Is that
Yeah.
fair to say?
Yeah. But looking at it from the Sacred Duty talent, that is the thing that will make it viable for Ret Rogue as well. But it just you just have to change your entire playstyle, and you have to get lucky, obviously. If you don't get a Reckoning proc, it's gonna suck.
Yeah, I mean, if your twist doesn't go off because you don't have Wind Fury, like.
Yeah, I don't play.
Yeah, it does hurt.
I don't play Ret because I enjoy playing a melee with no slow, no interrupt, no mobility, right? The fun of Ret is just the ridiculous one-shots you get here and there, so I'm not queuing without a Shaman because you need the Wind Fury to make that happen.
So I wanted to ask, obviously, if you're playing CS, most people use, Brooch, and they just wear all their PvP gear. But I know for, Reckoning, there's, a lot of discussion about, trinkets, wearing some passive haste on your gear, because, I think a lot of people that play Reck are kind of under the assumption, or they're the current wisdom is that DST is kind of like the king trinket, because if DST procs when you have Reckoning, you're going to get 3 Reckoning swings instead of 2. Yeah, and it's huge extra damage, way more damage than Brooch would ever add, but it has to line up. And so some people are kind of leaning more towards Abacus because you can use it on demand. And there's actually one guy who uses Scrolls of Blinding Light, which is that vanilla trinket that has a bunch of haste for 20 seconds, and it also has some spell haste. So you can reduce your global with that and get more dispels out or twists or whatever. But I want to ask you guys, because I like using DST. I think DST is great, and even if it doesn't line up with a Reck proc, sometimes the DST just adds so much damage that it can create a kill window that I wasn't gonna have otherwise, because it just lets me get a twist off earlier. But do you guys feel like that on-demand haste would be better? And then also the passive gear. I know me and Lawgiver talked about it a little bit, where we ran 100 to 150 haste from Black Temple gear, the bracers, pick up the belt from Trash that has intellect on it, the ring from Trash. You can add a good amount of haste, but I had trouble. I don't think I ever saw that passive haste on its own give me a third swing. And when you have a 3.8 weapon like Torch, it's it doesn't do that much in terms of, but rarely it will give you that third swing. So I'm I wanted to ask your guys' thoughts about wearing some haste, and what trinket you guys think is actually best.
I just want to interject real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
You guys go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh no. In my opinion, it just adds up one more thing that could line up with everything else. It's one of those things that you could have in the back of your head, hey, I have a proc up. This is my window to do some pressure, and I think that is incredibly strong with Reckoning and everything that adds up with in terms of generating pressure. So
I think so I actually tried this. I thought of using DST a little while ago in arenas, and I didn't really like it that much, but I didn't try it for that long because there was a lot of times where DST would proc, and then I'm not even in range to get a swing, and I got frustrated while using it. So because I thought the same thing that you're saying in theory. I'm well, what if it's up, then I get an extra swing. So because that happens whenever I have Heroism, right? So Heroism happens, and I get more Reckoning swings in, and then I was well, this could be a chance that I get this in. I think that 278 attack power that's a lot, right? That's a lot of bonus damage, especially if you use that and then you get a twist, Seal of Blood, Wind Fury, command. That's that adds up to be quite a bit of damage from the Bloodlust Brooch. So I think having it in a way where you can control it is probably a little bit better. Now, here's something else that I haven't tried. I think this is probably stupid. I think it's probably dumb. But there's Kiss of the Spider and Scrolls of Blinding Light. From Vanilla. And I was I wonder if these are worth even looking at. Because I think it'll probably be dumb. And especially if you don't have anything else that it gives you during the time that it's not up. But it just might be a fun little thing to try out. But I highly doubt that it'll be Like, why not just use a DST and just go for the random proc at that point because you're getting some baseline attack power, you know?
The thing the way I think about DST is like, it might not always line up. You can't always control it, but like, you get like 4 or 5 DST procs for every like Abacus or Bruce use. Like every 2 minutes, you've gotten 4 or 5 DST procs, and you can use your Abacus or Bruce like once. But I think if you're playing Reck, I would lean more towards like Abacus for the haste than I would for the Brooch, because it's gonna add more damage if you get the proc. So like when you bubble lust on somebody and you're gonna kill them with Reck, just like pop Abacus at the same time. But like, so I know there's one guy specifically who uses Scrolls of Blinding Light, and he's like super adamant about it being the best because it has
Really?
that spell haste, which
Yeah.
lets you can like dispel and twist in the same auto. I don't know how highly rated he is,
Ooh,
but
damn. That's
the
actually,
big-
you know, it's funny. I
yeah.
didn't think about that part of Scrolls.
The big thing about
Yeah.
scrolls that I want to try out, but I don't have the trinket because I'm a horde paladin. But the big thing I want to try out with it is if you use it during your bubble kill window on, say, a priest, it makes it way less likely that you're gonna get caught on global when he casts Mass Dispel. So you can hodge your silence or rep it and stop the Mass Dispel and keep your bubble. So that's the use case that I really think Scrolls of Blinding
because
Light
your
would be really
GCD
good
is
at.
shorter.
Yeah, because your GCD is shorter, so you're less likely to get stuck on GCD, and you can stop that.
But like when I looked at the GCD reduction, so if
It's
you already
not
have
very big.
it's not very big if you have lust up already. If you don't have lust up already, it is huge actually. But if you already have lust, it's only like a 0.15 second
Yeah.
reduction, I think.
Yeah, seeing how small that was is what stopped me from actually, going out and doing BWL every week to
Yeah.
try and get it. But if I already had it, I think I'd be playing around with
And
it.
having no base stats is in a 5-minute cooldown is like really painful.
Yeah, but there's a lot of comps in twos, especially where you're kind of choreographed of like, this is your kill window, this is when you need to kill
Yeah.
them. And so in that case, it doesn't really matter what the cooldown is, as long as you can use it in that kill window. That's what matters.
Honestly, I'm glad you brought up Kiss of the Spider, because I think that's just a better version of Abacus. I mean, the thing about Scrolls that's so good is that it's like the same haste as Abacus, but it's like 20 seconds long instead of 10.
Yeah.
So like that's good. I mean, but like with Kiss is also I think 15 or 20 seconds long. So you get a little bit of extra time with your haste, which if you get a second rec proc or something can be huge. I think you get more out of it there than you would with Abacus, because Abacus is so short. I mean, Abacus is going to give you that third swing, but you're going to get a little bit of extra damage out of Kiss in that window.
Yeah.
So I think if you're going to go that route and you're going to pick something like an on-use trinket for Reck over something like a DST, I think you go with Kiss if you have it, if you can get it, because it just lasts longer.
Yeah.
Well, the haste trinkets also actually rely on like having the haste up at the right time, even the on-use ones, right? If you use it in the middle
Yeah.
of a swing, it could not even give you that twist at all if the timing of the
That's
buff plus the
true.
swing timing doesn't work out. I think in general you're better off just using the attack power option because it's just flat damage. It'll always be there for you.
I'm still a sucker for DST, because when I'm playing twos, sometimes just a DST proc is all I need to get a kill.
I like DST against Druid teams just because I need the more RNG I can stack in my favor and just maybe give that Druid while he's running around in circles all game, the better. But against the more choreographed teams like the Priest teams, I'd rather use the AP.
So while I was in the bathroom, did you guys happen to talk about the weapon differences? Or was it just
no,
haste
actually.
gear?
Oh,
Okay,
no.
all right.
Just haste.
Well,
but that's a really good point. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if if I recall correctly, Moby, you have torch, but you're not using it.
Yeah.
That's painful to hear.
That's so painful to hear.
Nah, I switched to season 3 sword this week, and I love it.
I understand. I mean, he's Ret Rogue, so I understand going for the Resil.
And so is that why you went for it though, Moby? Just a little bit more resilience.
Yeah, mostly. I love torch, but it adds some stamina, adds resilience. I really love armor penetration.
Yeah, I like armor pen too. Actually,
it just adds flat damage with Crusader Strike as well.
I like armor pen a lot.
Yeah. And I'm not planning to drop my season 3 sword. Planning to put Executioner on it when it drops next week.
He's going all in. All in.
Yeah.
Are you gonna wear like Divine Retribution and stuff, or?
No.
I think if
do
you're going AP, you
love
gotta
my
go all the way.
mana
I
playing
think you
Red
gotta go all
Rogue.
the way, man.
Dude,
So-
just send it.
Here's the thing with armor pen. I think so many people are so obsessed with like, oh, armor pen sucks for Ret because we do like, half of our damage is holy, or like it depends on what, whatever the hell, right? A lot of times in reckoning, it's like 40%, I think, on average. Every time I look, it's like holy damage.
Mhm.
But what people don't consider is it's not about your overall damage. It's not about your DPS. It's about when it hits, it hits.
Yeah.
So like if you are playing with a warrior in a team and you're stacking sunders, if you're playing Ret Rogue like you are, Moby, and you have him putting up exposed armor, and you have what is the value of exposed armor? Is it like 26 or 22? What is the
27, I think, something like that.
It's 27. Okay.
Yeah.
So about like 2,700 armor. You have I think priests with inner fire have like low 4K. Like it's like about 4,000 armor. I'm pretty sure with inner fire up. So if now you have exposed armor up, and then you have just a little bit of armor pen here and there, you have an executioner proc go off. You can do almost true damage with your Wind Fury, right? With your Crusader Strike, you're doing almost true damage now. So if you're Crusader Strike spec, I think that's so big. Even as Reckoning spec, I mean, having those two big, just fat white hits, just boom, boom. Imagine you got a Seal Twisted, 3 stacks Vengeance, Seal Twist, Wind Fury proc. It's just like boom, 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 and all of a sudden you're getting like two like 3,000, almost 4,000 damage white hits. Like it's very reasonable. It's totally not out of the realm of possibility to just see these massive chunks going to somebody.
I can see it for like in Moby's perspective. I can see it working for him and being a good play. But for like me personally, playing with a shaman, playing Reck, like so much of my damage is just going right through their armor and just ignoring it already, that I feel like I can't justify armor pen. And like I'm not gonna give up my Cloak of Darkness with its insane blue socket that helps my gemming situation so much for like a Dory's Embrace. Because like, and maybe this is my raid oriented brain speaking, but like it's just less damage. I think you'd be, at least from a
I don't think
perspective, I think you're doing more if you stack like strength or something.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth if you don't have a rogue or a shaman with, or a rogue or a warrior with you. Sorry.
If the priest is purged, right, so he has no inner fire, you can actually get a set with executioner that will reduce him to like 50-ish armor. I think is the math I did with full when he's wearing full season 3.
Yeah, if it adds up all the way.
Yeah, so you can almost get true damage, and
that's disgusting.
I'm gonna mess around with a set like that late season when I know I'm queuing into priest. I think because I think it could actually be
see, like that would be worth. Yeah, because I still have you know what I have? I still have my badge of the Swarm Guard, and I didn't get my torch until this week, but I did get the cleaver off of is it Tehran Gorefiend? Whatever the hell it's called, Soul Cleaver. I don't even remember the name.
Yeah.
But 350 armor pen from that. Stack that with a full stack badge of the Swarm Guard, which just like immediately goes to 6 stacks.
Yeah, and executioner's what, 800?
Yeah. So without executioner, I went Soul Cleaver, badge of the Swarm Guard with our warrior. We were playing with Trill or Nicholas. They put up 5 stacks Sunder, and if I had my stuff go off, it was just disgusting white damage. The auto attack damage is so high. So I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you just get like a passive set with executioner, where you get enough armor pen.
I think armor pen is gonna have its spot in late season 3. It's just you need to. I think you need to go all in because it's just a stat that scales better the more you have.
Think about this too, though. Like, think about like, okay, so it's gonna help a lot when you're against like a Clothy and you get some Sunders up on him and stuff. But think about when you're up against like a Bear Druid, right? Like, I feel like that stat budget is gonna be kind of wasted, where it's not gonna give you near as much damage as like, I mean, against a Bear Druid or like a person with a shield on, like a Shaman or a Warrior. Like, if you want to do the most damage, you actually don't even CS. You just keep twisting, because CS doesn't do enough damage against that high armor. Like, Reck is actually going to do more damage there because the twist goes right through the armor. So I think I think there's situations where the armor pen is going to give you more damage. I think there's also situations where it's going to give you less, like against a Druid, against a Shaman, against any like high armor targets.
Yeah, armor pen's definitely not like a daily driver.
There's like a pro, and there's pros and cons to it, and I'm gonna stay Reck and playing with my Shaman, which is where I feel strongest in 2s. And honestly, Esfand, I think you should play twos with a shaman because it's lit. It is so much fun.
Yeah, I just so Settle, who we play fives with, is he does he does like twos like coaching for gold. So I don't play with him in twos. I've found there's another shaman that messaged me. I sent message him back. He said he'd be down to play sometime. So I usually just with twos. I just kind of play with whoever. So either I play with another shaman named Torch, and then Settle, and then also playing with Duop. I can't remember what Duop changed his name to. But there's a rogue from Fairlina. I can't even remember what he changed his name to on Benediction. But I played some Ret Rogue as well, and I liked it. It was good.
So from what I'm hearing, you guys think that armor penetration is actually better for Reckoning spec than it is for Crusader Strike, from what I'm gathering from what you guys think.
Well, I think it's both.
Not me
Yeah,
personally,
no,
but
I don't think it's better. I think it's probably slightly better for CS than it is Reckoning, but
Yeah.
I think for both of them, it's a niche thing that you'll wear
Yep.
if you're in a situation where you know it's going to be something that'll benefit from it. Because if you queuing into Warrior Druid already sucks, but if you're wearing an armor pin set, it's going to suck a lot more.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of my feeling. Yeah, I don't know. It's like like so much of the time in twos I'm facing druids. Like pretty much almost every game is a druid or a priest is my kill target, and you know, it would help against the priest, it would hurt against the druid, and I don't know. You can always just stack strength and be good against both, right? So
Crit's better than strength.
well, yeah, okay. So
So
actually,
you like crit over strength?
Yeah, I'm a heavy crit gemmer. Yeah.
I kind of
Okay.
went
Really?
that way too this season, where I'm not full crit gems, I'm just all oranges, but like buying red epic gems was so much money. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go orange. And then I saw a bunch of other people were doing the same thing. So like I'm up to like 32 crit now, unbuffed or something, which is awesome. And I think crit's good for that because we have enough trouble against people that have high resil, like stacking vengeance as is. And I think isn't vengeance like a magic debuff? Can it like protect your buffs, or maybe it isn't? I
Yep.
don't know.
It is actually, yeah.
Yeah, so it can protect your buffs from getting purged, and like, you know, obviously you want to have 3 stacks up when you go for your kill window. So like, you know, like I think there's something to be said. I used to go all strength all the way because in my mind I was thinking like, well, every crit you do is, you know, mitigated by resil, but not every swing you do is mitigated by resil. So the strength is more like damage overall. Once again, it's just like my raid brain.
Yeah,
No?
that definitely feels like PvE brain to me because the way I look at it is me hitting for, you know, what, 40, 50 more top end is not going to be the difference between a kill and not a kill 99% of the time.
Yeah, but a crit.
But a
Yeah.
crit easily could. So I'm at the point that I think by the end of the season, my red sockets are going to be agility gems.
Oh,
That's funny, actually. So I used to be more crit, and then I actually flipped to AP. But I used to always be like more about crit than AP. So the reason why is just mostly just because I just wanted to do more baseline damage and not fight against the resilience, because I do think that it's over. I think resilience is overstated. I think people make a bigger deal about resilience working against crit than it does. Even though yes, it's really valuable. I think people just overestimate it a little bit. But that's interesting that you think that, because I don't have like any particular rhyme or reason outside of like the normal reason as to why I started trying to attack power more. But I was like super, like I was back in the day I was like Scryer, I was an Aldor, and like I just always loved crit more. But more recently I switched to AP. So I've actually been thinking about flipping back.
A very nice bonus of the going crit is that gymming is so much cheaper. The jaggeds cost nothing. I love it.
Yeah.
You guys want to watch some clips? We got a bunch of clips here actually.
Yeah,
We've
do.
been kind of watching some background. Like we also kind of plan on talking a little bit about like how to face this comp or that comp, but like I don't know if we really have time to get into it, and like let's watch some clips, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
We got some really good one-shot clips. Like we opened up a channel in the Light Club Discord. And if anybody out there like plays Ret PvPs, I mean, we even have Shakadins and Holy Paladins and stuff that post clips. We have like a thread in the Discord where you can post all your clips and stuff, and we're gonna show some of them off here on stream. But
yeah, so I'm gonna actually start with some Moby clips, but there's also something Moby wrote down that I think he wants to go into detail a little bit about. And the question is, you know, we talked about The haste gear. We talked about the weapons. We talked about even armor penetration and gearing like that. What do you do, Moby, that makes you really sync as a team? And does that give you an edge more than say using a different trinket or using a different weapon?
Now, well, I've been talking to a lot of different paladins who DM me on Discord and ask me like, "Hey, how do I cope with my rogue being angry and everything?" And I think first of all, you need to line up each other's gameplay from the start. Just get used to each other, obviously. But it's so unforgiving to play Ret Rogue, for example. Like one resist could mean that you could basically queue into the next game, or a druid runs off, and you're just like, ah, shit, I'm getting mace done down to the ground. Let's give up. But you need to shrug that off and look forward into the next game. And I think um, getting your mood lined up with each other is the first part, and the next part for playing Ret Rogue properly is focusing an entire session on pure CC chains, um, and reacting to what's happening. Like for example, sometimes I have to stun a warrior, and I just do it by gut feeling. Like, okay, this warrior is being annoying. I think I can land this stun. I stun him. He trinkets, and we tosses a blind on him immediately. But then the other game, we face a druid warrior, druid trinkets. We blind him. We reset. We re-go after the blind's over, and we smash him from 100 to 0. But the first step is getting your CC solid, and I think it's very hard. People see me perform Red Rogue at a very high rating, and they think like, hey, this could work. And I see some of them play 700 games at their 1300 rating, and I was like, gee, guys, how do you cope? And then when I give them some tips, they come back to me like after a week, and they're like, "Hey, dude, we gained 300 rating. We just focused on lining up our CC properly." I'm like, "Yeah, you go, guys. Good job."
Yeah.
And then this other guy came up to me, flexing his 1850 weapon. He's like, "Yeah, dude, I got the weapon, and that
Nice.
just feels great. Things are
Mhm.
working."
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, what I love is I went over to the Russian server. I had to set up every Russian language and everything, and I spoke to the Russian guys, and it's like, hey guys, I've never had anyone else to talk about Red Rogue. How do you guys play? And there's like, oh, Warlock Druids. Yeah, it's easy for us. We reset into the Druid when he trinkets, and it's like, wow, okay, we've never done this before. We just try to train into a Warlock, and it just doesn't work. And then
Yeah.
we tried it. Like this druid trinkets, we blind him, we run around pillars, we go back on the druid, he dies, and this warlock is just standing there at 25, 50 rating. It's like, oh shit, what happened?
Yeah. That's
It's
sick.
amazing, and it's incredibly fun to, even after 16 years, just still trying to figure out like what the actual play is, and because we lined up everything in terms of our gameplay together. We
Mhm.
sync really well, so adjusting our play style um, is quite easy for us. And we're now getting into the whole blinding after a trinket on the main target and resetting, and it just works really well. So
Mm.
I think getting that together uh, for starters is just incredibly important to be successful with Red Rogue.
Now these clips here, you're reckoning, right? Using Torch of the Damned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And this is one of those sessions where my shaman doesn't really have a PvP background, so I'm trying to coach him as we go. And against Mage Shadow Priest, I just got frustrated.
Yeah.
So I think in this game in particular, I just got incredibly frustrated, and I was like, I have to do something. I think I got a Reckoning proc from something silly.
Probably
And
from
I just
the
pulled,
maybe
The
the
I don't know,
Nova.
frost
yeah.
elemental. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I smashed his mage into the ground from 100 to
Yep.
0, and that is just incredibly satisfying.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
hopefully watching some of these clips, we just let them run a couple times in case of any stream hanging, just because
Yeah.
just hanging a little bit still, unfortunately. Nothing we can do about it really, but yeah, just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, this one is where I gave up hope as well. So I started mashing into the warrior. Um, I put wings here somewhere later, and he disarms me, and that
Mm-hmm.
triggered me incredibly. Especially because I wasn't really getting the Wind Fury as well. Like right
Yeah.
there, I didn't get a Wind
Yeah.
Fury. So I told my Shaman, like, come on, pop the Wind Fury, stun the
I dig it.
Paladin. I'm full tilt. I'm just like, okay, whatever. He gives me Wind Fury.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. And then the Paladin just flops over. It's
I'm
just
gonna
like,
watch that
okay,
again,
Uh,
man.
that just
There
happened.
it is. There it is. I just saw it. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
man.
god.
that
So
is
I have a question. What enchant do you guys normally run?
that is
On
when the Mongoose.
on
You guys,
weapon?
Probably
yeah, on
Mongoose
weapon.
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
mongoose,
overall.
mongoose.
You guys all run mongoose all the time?
100% mongoose.
Yeah, I run
Really?
Mongoose.
Okay. I usually go. At least in the last seasons, I was going weapon chain, and then
Oh well, that's what the second torch is for.
yeah, exactly. And then I gotta get me a second torch now. So I have my weapon chain now on my soul cleaver, and then I'll just use that as like my PvP weapon or like my chain weapon, and then if I can somehow manage to get a second torch someday, then you know what I might end up doing? I might even get a arena weapon. I might have enough arena points depending on how long the season goes. So
Yeah, no, I use Mongoose on my weapon, but I also I was using a second weapon for weapon chain. I actually started using Twin Blade more and put weapon chain on my World Breaker actually.
okay.
That's what I did. But if I had Towards the Damned, I would obviously be using that like 100%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know, I've never even seen. I think I saw a Twin Blade drop. Like, I didn't see one drop until Black Temple was already out, and then I was like, man, I don't want. I'll let somebody else take the Twin Blade because I know I'm getting torch. So,
Mm.
but man, I wanted Twin Blade so bad for the longest time.
So Moby, this is the beginning of your Ret Rogue clips that I have here. Can you break
Oh,
down what's
yeah.
going on here?
Well, from the start, this is what I adjusted to as well against double stealth teams. Is that I kind of stutter step into the arena, so all these stealth teams think that St. George is on me while he's actually trying to scout the arena. So I'm trying to play these mind games. Then about halfway through, I jump to the right. He searches on to the left. We basically always find someone. But the main idea between our gameplay is, well, we're now working on trying to hold perception actually, because
Okay.
often enough we, well, basically when I get open on, we lose the game more than I think we should. So for us, it's all about opening real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still working about holding perception and trying to play defensive and when not. But I guess double rogue it's fairly simple for us really.
Just blow one up.
Yeah, just blow one up. And with double perception, I think we have a very solid lead from the very start.
Oh yeah, no, definitely for sure, man. I mean that's kind of really good. So you're using them in the beginning. You're not using it for like the second go, right? Like when they re-stealth or anything like that. You're just planning on just shredding them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is a game against. I think this was against a feral and a rogue.
I believe this is feral rogue. Yes, this is the clip of the feral rogue.
Yeah, so these guys open hard, and yeah, he George gets sapped. Very shitty opener.
Oh yeah. I always thought feral rogue was like the scary. I always think feral rogue is more scary than double rogue, honestly, because it just seems like they do
Yeah,
so much damage
definitely.
and they have a little bit more like CCs that don't overlap. You know.
A good feral
Yeah.
is disgusting.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't see a lot of them because for whatever reason, actually, I don't know. But whenever you see them, I get scared just because I know the potential they have of just being able to have CC. They do have strong off healing, right? They have strong off healing, great
Yeah.
CC. The damage is just nuts, and they're able to bleed you out, through your armor and everything. It's just kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
You can't really go on a rogue as Ret Rogue. You have to keep training down the druid. Giving a druid the slight feeling of freedom is just gonna mess you up.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's
This was tricky,
frustrating too
though.
because you're there wailing into a bear with like 1 billion armor. So like it doesn't feel
Yeah.
good going druid a lot of
No.
times, like, especially feral druid. But it's like what else are you gonna do? So
Yeah.
the rogue too. The rogue is annoying because them having cloak and evasion. Like rogues, to me, rogues are way harder to fight in Burning Crusade than they were in vanilla. Like it's like crazy. I hate hitting rogues.
No, yeah. Hitting
Yeah.
rogue, you have like a 5-second window every
Yeah.
35 seconds. Outside of that, you can't hit them. It's just not an option. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, while playing with a shaman, I feel like I'm way more scared of double rogue because that double garrote is
Yeah,
just gonna kill my shaman.
Oh yeah.
Also, the
But,
double rogue can actually like get a reset. You know, after you've
Yeah.
used a lot of your
Mhm.
trinkets
feral-
and bubbles
the
and
feral
stuff.
can't get
maybe win.
away.
Yeah, feral rogue
Ooh.
is the freest win there is in the
And
entire game.
if I get
for
on the
fighting.
feral, he's gonna go bear form and he's way less scary. But if on double rogue, they're just gonna keep pumping my shaman and we're gonna get wrecked. I mean, double rogue is a really hard comp for us right now. I've heard other people say that it's not so bad, but I think we just need more practice against it.
This is a
Yeah.
god rep right here.
I think
Yeah.
you're letting them re-stealth too much. Is probably your big problem.
Yeah, I mean, we have a little trouble with that when they cloak and sprint away. How to
And
keep them engaged.
You also just need to commit as few cooldowns to any given scenario as possible, so that you have enough in the tank. but
Yeah,
you should
blowing
beat them.
bop and bubble at the start like always loses the game.
Yeah, Esfand, what you were saying about a really good feral. I've been watching. I think his name is Spotman. Is that who it is? Dude, he is
Yeah, he's really good.
insane.
Really?
Insane. Oh yeah. It is,
Yeah,
it is-
I was like watching whenever Chance goes and plays when he does arenas on his ult. It's always fun to watch Chance. He's really good too.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just wild. I mean, I think you're right though. I mean, a good feral is it's really rough to
You
deal
can't
with.
give them your back. I mean, if you give them your back, they're gonna truck you so hard. They're
Oh,
like
yeah.
dagger rogues they're like dagger rogues in vanilla. Like they pump such crazy burst.
Yeah, they're.
I think I saved St. George there with the Seal of Justice proc at the end.
Ooh.
I really like this one. I think this
Oh,
is
that's lit.
one.
You love to see that, dude. You love to see that seal of justice.
Yeah,
proc.
this one's.
Yeah, I think like
Yeah, this is one of those games where I felt like I could have stunned the warrior and he was
Mhm.
being too cheeky. And after that, everything lined up perfectly.
Holy, were you
the
wrecking
repentance
this?
as well.
I wasn't looking.
No. Don't think so. No. I just
No, you're
smashed him.
Yeah, no, you really did.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is this another rest? This is resto. Okay, yeah.
It's always fun to just see like just the wailing of like 1 billion numbers pop up at once. Their health just drops. Like,
There's no other class quite like it. I mean,
yep.
Yeah, I've played thousands
Mhm.
of arena games at this point, and I'm still every time it happens, I'm laughing like an idiot, and it's just
Oh man, Moby, I love the what is it like that pops up on your screen when you're getting a really good like
Yeah,
is it a crit? I remember there's an add-on like that years ago.
Yeah. I'm still using it.
It's funny.
it's a comic
I like
book.
this one for where I fear the WOTLK pet, and
Yeah, this is what you were talking about
Even-
earlier. What you said there's a new way to go, like where
Yeah.
you blind reset. Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is the one where we do the blind reset, but
Well, that's what it says on
The
the
fact that-
clip.
Dude,
that
fearing the
Um,
pet. I always
maybe
forget
I messed up the cursor a bit. I'm not sure.
I always forget that I have the ability
Yeah.
to fear pets. Like I never remember that.
Oh, did you get a nice fear in there? I didn't.
He did.
Yeah. At the very start.
Oof. What a god.
It lasts like a really
And
long
because
time.
I had sacrifice,
20
I felt like
seconds.
okay, yeah.
I always forget to do that when I'm up against like Warlock Druid and I'm like mana battering the pet, trying to drink. Like I have like my 1.4 speed weapon on and my Seal of Wisdom, Judgment, and like I'm trying to mana battery and I'm like, oh, I can just fear this pet. I forgot.
yeah. The big use for it is you fear the pet, and then he either has to interrupt your fear with it or get it feared, and then your shaman can actually cast some spells because that's out of the
Yeah.
picture for a little bit. You just use it when your shaman needs to cast. You force the interrupt.
The cooldown
so
isn't
this
that
is-
long either, right? It's like 30
It's
seconds.
30
It's 30 seconds.
Pretty long.
Yeah.
So
it's like 30 seconds and then what 8 seconds on or fear. I mean,
so it's
yeah.
not that. I mean, it's got good uptime.
If you
Yeah, but
take
if you're
the
using
clip,
it,
I'm sorry. If you take the clip after that, the new Ret Rogue way to go. I'm not sure if you had the right one. if you could show that one, I think that's it's a good example of resetting.
This one
with,
right here.
with the blind.
This one.
Yeah, with the an awesome Shaman Priest at 2.4k
Okay, yeah.
rating. It's mental.
All right, let's check it out.
Yeah, sorry for talking through you guys. But yeah, this is the one where this is how we approach every rogue priest as well. Doesn't really make a big difference if it's an enhancement
You
shaman or
blind
rogue.
and you just.
Yeah, he trinkets, and this is. I even got a Crusader Strike, and pretty funny. The shaman resets and shocks me, but that actually, well,
Yeah.
didn't really make much of a difference.
Oh my god.
And then we re-go on the priest, and yeah, massive crit. The add-on's called comics, by the way, and answer that question. I'm still using it every. It's what got me through vanilla, because there was nothing else to do, and every time I saw a pop-up like, oh yeah, I got a crit.
Hell
Just
yeah.
made me good.
Oh,
But I can only imagine it's annoying for some other people.
I've been told that double perception is actually cheating, Moby. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we're actually working around perception because we started to rely so much on perception that we actually filled a lot of games where rogues hard open on me, and then perception is completely useless and we lose the game.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I do like.
I'd imagine this comes down to the opener quite often, playing Ret Rogue.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Basically every time we, well, every time I get caught in the open, we're just so behind, and we're just not good at resetting at all. So we need to work on that. But our offensive game is quite alright. And
yeah, I mean, it seems like you get to reset a lot with the Ret Rogue.
Yeah, we're still working on it. Our main gameplay was to go in hard and try to line up our CC and interrupt, and that's what got us through to 25-50 rating, which is alright, but we're getting better at it now.
Are you guys passing combat back and forth right now?
Yeah, Ken, I was gonna ask you what's up with this clip right here.
Oh, so a nice little thing you can do against any rogue team really, but especially mage rogue, is if the mage gets a little bit too close, one of you hits them with the 40-yard range instant cast Decapitator. That also Decapitator, like, it throws an axe, right? But you get put in combat as soon as you click it. So if the mage comes anywhere within 40 yards, you just hit him with a decap, and you can then spam combat back and forth between yourselves for eternity until.
So let me just get. You guys are using rank 1 heals, yes?
Yeah, just spamming rank 1s back and forth.
And this is just so that they can't get a sap off.
Yeah, they can't sap, and eventually they'll either just open without the sap or Shadow Sight will come up. So can't really go wrong there.
Which one of you goes for Shadow Sight when it comes up?
Usually me.
So I also just gotta ask, what's up with Killawave's Spellbook Gaming here? Is he?
Yeah,
that was our. So we haven't been doing much twos because this is early season, just doing 5s for points until a push actually becomes necessary. So I think this was our first session doing 2s for a long time. So we I think I'm pretty sure I had to Spellbook my rank 1 too at that time.
Well, this is really good tech, man. I mean, this completely avoids like the rogue sap. I mean, that just seems so big.
I have a Decapitator. I remember people talking about using it in that way, but I was like, oh, I got Mana Tap, but Mana Tap doesn't go quite as far.
No, it's way better to use Decap, and also the Shaman can use it too.
Oh yeah.
But this is just we had to make up for the loss of our Skull perma combat.
So you do this against every rogue team you do this against, and
no, it's mostly just rogue mage. Against priest rogue, we have a different strat, which
is actually coming up right here.
Yeah. How often are you able to get it off on the mage?
Not super often, but it happens often enough that it's definitely worth having the decaps.
It's worth having it out. Yeah. I should try and get one of those. That's a good idea. I never thought of that.
Yeah, the 40-yard range. The fact that it instantly puts you in is really good. So yeah, this is what we do every priest rogue. This is just like the blueprint, and without this works against almost all of them. There's a few that can play against it pretty well, but
you rush in without sack.
No, sack is up.
Sack is up. Yeah, sack's up for sure. Yeah, sack is up.
So he breaks the sap on the reflective shield with a frost shock.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it's wild. Even after playing priests, like playing the same rank 1 priest 5-10 times, they just never take the shield off. And
These are these like rank 1 strats that like nobody ever thinks about. That it's like crazy tech.
yeah, so we break the sap with the sack, and then it's just purge him dry, hodge him, and I hodge him when he's still at full health. And they really like to sit that hodge because they don't want to burn a trinket when they're at full health and they don't feel like they're in danger. And if they don't trinket it, they lose there. Even if they do trinket it, you just keep wailing onto them and hopefully get a Reck proc from the
Oh
rogue.
wow, because you got a Reck proc there and you bubbled and lit the guy up.
But even without that, it's still very easy to kill him. Like he cannot cast and he can't shield, he can't renew because the shaman is just casting nothing but purge.
Shouldn't the rogue be hitting your shaman there and not getting?
I mean, then I'm just completely unpeeled, and I'm gonna kill him anyway.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it still would be better, right? Because then you're not getting Reck procs. I mean, maybe the priest survives a little bit longer at least.
Needs to happen there is that the priest needs to get away from me. We have the most difficulty when the priest can kite me successfully. I stay on my mount until I can get on top of the priest, and he just spams poison cleansing totems.
So my question here is, you didn't even use trinket.
No,
doesn't look like it.
No, I just bubble as soon as it's time to go and finish the priest.
Well, the rogue opened him with a garrote, so he couldn't even like blind you.
Yeah, and I think I might have resisted the kidney. And if I didn't resist the kidney, I would have trinketed it.
Like that garrote is probably a misplay because he can't do anything to peel you there.
Yeah, if he cheap shots me and gets crippling on me, then the priest can get away kind of to an extent. But I stay on my mount and just get spam dispelled by the shaman.
I mean, you always have bubble, but you pop it anyway.
The bubble is what wins. Yeah, at the end. And then you wait for PS.
Pop the shaman.
As soon as he PSs, he gets repented.
Yeah. I totally thought Killa got the kill here with that lightning bolt. I won't lie.
He gets a lot of kills. The shaman in this comp needs to play super, super aggressive. He's not even a healer, really. He's just purging and doing damage.
He's just a support, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I think like if you're like a badass resto shaman, it's like the coolest thing in the world.
Yep. No, it's a really fun.
People kind of trash talk shamans. They like, oh, you got to hard cast all your heals.
No, they just don't know. They're clueless.
They're lit. I love it.
Yeah, and see, this is the good thing about fighting Druid Rogue as opposed to the Priest Rogues, because you can hodge the Rogue and he can't get dispelled, so it's actually a viable kill target.
He's gone.
Well, yeah.
Oh my lord! Yeah.
Like he's just gone.
Couldn't dodge.
I think this clip, like, in voice of this clip, I get a proc and I didn't know he's dead, and so I just say, I'm gonna kill him. He just dies.
Oh, this is with the World Breaker too. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a little bit of an older one. I think early in the season.
Oh, you popped wings, so you hodge him and popped wings instead of.
Yeah, that's one of the comps I'll press a lot of wings against, just because I need to kill him in that hodge, because if I don't kill him in that hodge, it's going to be at least 35 seconds before.
Yeah, Rogue Druid is. I mean, Rogue Druid is a hard comp for me. I struggle.
Yeah, they're really annoying. I would rate them in probably a really good Rogue Druid where the Druid knows to just like never be anywhere near you is more annoying to fight than Warrior Druid.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Warrior Druid I feel really strong against now with Reck.
I don't know about really strong, but it's winnable, yeah.
I mean, you kind of did slap this guy pretty hard. I won't lie.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean,
it's just nice to be able to hodge a rogue and he can't get dispelled, so you can actually hit him.
Yeah, so there's the Druid Rogue, and then there's the Druid Warrior, which I don't like either of them, to be honest. I don't like playing against either of those.
I'd rather face the Druid Warrior, though.
Against Druid Warriors, yeah, there's a few win conditions you can have.
Nice.
I think let me look at my my arena history. Yeah, so our last play session we were at 2700 MMR, and we went how many? We went 4-1 against Warrior Druids.
Oh wow!
And a lot of the that I'm pretty sure that was one of them where it's just the Druid let himself get too close, and he got one shot.
And you press wings.
And then the next game, so the Druid is really scared now, and the Druid plays far back, and my Shaman just 1v1s the Warrior while the Druid did stealth, gets him as low as possible. And then when he's at, 50, 45%, I just walk up and hit the wing Swifty macro and immediately one-shot the Warrior before the Druid even comes out of stealth. And it's just like, those are the kind of cheesy wins you can actually get against that comp. Because if they're playing it properly, you should just never beat them, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So we get some Esfand clips here.
Yeah, I don't have that many because I usually play on my alt channel.
That was what we got. We got some alt channel clips.
I didn't even know you had that alt channel until I saw those clips you sent me. I was like, oh. Because I was looking on your main channel for clips to put in the document, but I couldn't
Yeah, it's
find
like
any.
when does this guy stream his PvP?
Yeah, right.
No, because usually like my team plays really late at night, and I'm usually like done with stream at that point, or like it's weird. Like for me, like my stream has just changed so much that like over the last few years that it's like it's like it's not really like my main content anymore, right? Doing a lot of the WoW stuff. Like I still do it, and I still know a lot about what I'm saying, right? But it's just because it's I care about it so much.
Mhm.
It's not like it's not something that I'm focusing like my content around. So that's it. Just kind of is what it is. But when I played on my alt, and then I don't even remember what exactly these clips are of. I just saw that. I just like clicked through them, and I was like, oh, like there's this, there's that. So
Well, this one
usually it's really big damage. So,
Yeah.
You let that rogue jumping off. He just like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
blasted him.
This
Hit him
one
with the Glock.
we come back from we were down 2v3 because Grayson died. This is Frost Mage, Shaman, Ret Paladin, and yeah, Grayson's dead,
Oh
and we're
my
like,
God.
oh damn, like we lost.
But then you
Yeah, a lot
actually
of
get the
people
kill
are-
on the priest.
A lot of
Yeah.
people are playing this comp
So
now.
Settle is blinded right now. Yeah, it's crazy because like we started playing this comp out of necessity, really, because Grayson plays a mage, and we were like, well, we just need to find a shaman, and then it turned out to be decent, and a lot of other people started playing it too. So yeah, like Settle had to actually sit that he actually had to sit that blind, I think, because my bop was on cooldown, I'm pretty sure, and he didn't have a trinket up. Otherwise, I would have bopped him out. Yeah, there it is. It is on cooldown. So he has to sit a full blind, and I don't know what they're doing. I think that rogue was going for a right? And then I did the rank 1 consecrate to pop him, and then I got that. Yeah.
That's some gamer moves, man. That's some gamer moves.
Is that a weak aura that shows your reckoning procs?
Yeah. So I made a weak aura with one of the rogues in my guild. He's like a weak aura guru, and it's basically like a buff tracker, and then that's my swing timer. I got the one Surveillant made, and I know Blayst, you have one too. I for whatever reason, like my brain gets like scrambled a lot of times whenever I look at your guys' weak auras because I'm stupid or something. I don't know. So I kind of took a swing timer weak aura, and that one made it more simple. And then I just kind of time my seal twist with like the end of the timer within 0.4. But I want to see if I can find a way to kind of like merge like the way that mine looks in that clip, merge that with what you guys do. It would probably be really good.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about our swing timers is we have this new thing that we added to it recently where it tracks how long you're on the GCD, and it'll tell you when your GCD ends. And I think that's so huge. Like I couldn't imagine playing without it now that we have it.
Yeah. No, I think the GCD thing is huge.
But yeah, I mean, you could make it look more like that, make it kind of smaller, and get rid of all the trackers and stuff. And you know, but leave like the marks for the twist window, the last moment you can cast command, etc. I mean, I could help you with that.
Yeah, I think because I think that would be because that would be something big for PvP. Because I remember Surveillant, you're saying like you use your swing timer in PvP and it helps you out a lot. So
yeah.
And for me, like I just kind of, it's funny in PvP I'm a lot more like I just kind of do things. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to explain because like in PvP and like rotation, but you guys know like you have to be a lot more adaptable. So I don't really like rely on anything. I'm trying to find out what happened in this clip. This might have just been a big damage clip.
Oh no,
Just
this
lit everybody up.
This clip is actually wild, man. You just walk up to this one guy and you just completely destroy him right here.
Yeah.
There's actually one clip I think we have in the document. I think it's the only one under Vinny, and it's like probably the most bonkers clip I've ever seen in my life because I've never seen. I mean, Ret does crazy damage sometimes, but I've never seen anyone do that much damage. Like he literally one shots everybody on their whole team in 5s. It was like lifetime luck.
Yeah.
Like
Just
once in a
RNG.
lifetime. Yeah. So we could watch that then.
Yeah. This clip
That's another
this reminds me of that because it's just bonkers damage.
This clip
on
right
everybody.
here, you completely truck this druid right here.
Yeah.
That's a good reckoning proc. I tell you what.
Yeah, there it is. Got the stacks up, and then
Love
boom,
it.
right into the Wind Fury.
I mean, that's a big damage right there, man.
I don't even think I got a twist off there.
No, I think
and
it's
still.
I think it's
Just a
just
wreck
just
with a
it's
wind
just a
fury.
raw-
Yeah.
that guy probably was like, "What the fuck? What's going on?"
Do people still? I mean, Red is getting a lot more popular, but there's still some people that don't understand what happened when they get one shot. They're just like, what? Like you see that on, like, I know we have a couple clips of like Brother Bean getting one shot by Reckoning and just sitting there
yeah.
like, what just happened?
Yeah, I like Bean.
Bean's
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Watching
he's very
Bean's
funny.
stream a few weeks ago, I actually saw the wildest thing I've ever seen a TBC stream. I never thought I would hear. He was playing fives, and his priest at one point said, "I'm so sick of all these Ret Paladins."
That's
Just,
so
I
funny.
never in my life would I have
No,
thought
right?
the stream would have said that.
Well, in five specifically, it's like
Oh.
every other game you play has a Ret Paladin. I don't know what it is about fives, but like they're in every. I mean, I guess it's that if you want to have a bop, Ret's probably the best option to bring in for that bop. I mean, Holy's good in some comps, but
Yeah. Well, I always say this about Ret Paladins, and it's been this way since vanilla, but it's less of a thing in vanilla with like a 40-man raid and PvE. But it allows you to have the same support that a Holy. It's funny, the argument that everybody says about why take Holy over Ret, I say the same thing about why take Ret over Holy. It's, well, you can have all the support that a Holy Paladin brings without actually bringing a healer.
yeah,
You know, so we give you an extra buff, we give you an extra freedom, we give you an extra bop, extra cleanse, but you're doing it out of like a DPS spot with really high burst in PvP. So
I don't think anyone has higher burst than us if we have rack up. Like I think we have the highest burst in the game probably, except for like maybe like a Palm Pyro Mage.
yeah, it's really ridiculous. So in this clip, this is a good example of what we talked about earlier, right? Where it's like I don't even think I had my bubble. Oh yeah, I don't have my bubble up. Okay, so I went ahead and popped my wings here, and it's exactly what we talked about earlier, where it's like we pop the wings to like, okay, like we have to go for a kill here. Now this is against a team with a shaman, so they can purge me. I'm out of line of the shaman whenever I wings, so that he can't purge me and I can get 2 swings off. And I'm like, we just have to finish here because Settle's out of mana, Grayson's looking low. I'm gonna run out of mana pretty soon. And this was like kind of just send it and hope for the best, and it worked out. I think all these clips are Reckoning clips too.
Yeah, you've been playing Reckoning way back, right? Like season 2, and season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sort of had that was it, man. That was the last thing you could do on that one.
Yeah.
The curve on that.
Let's keep going. So we have some more clips here that I want to look out. You know, I wanted to make sure that we got the clips from, you know, everybody here, just so that they, you know, gave a little bit of information, you know, just like what's going on in the clip, you know, like maybe a little bit of CS or Reckoning, you know, talk or anything like that. But we're definitely going to move into other clips here. And guys, if you're in the chat right now and if you have any questions about anything PvP, anything Paladin, anybody that's on, you know, the guests or anything like that, me or Serve, go ahead and rattle them off right now. But we're going to keep looking at the clips. We're going to keep talking a little bit about Ret. I think this clip here is from Comp. It's always big damaging clips with Ret, man. I mean that you know that is 100% why we chose to play this class for sure.
Honestly, I didn't know anything. I didn't know Ret was gonna be this good in arena. I was just like, oh, my guild needs a Ret. Okay, I can't play Rogue. All right, I'll do that.
I really need to find a shaman, guys. This is a PSA. If anybody knows a resto shaman on white main, please send them my way, please.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, dude. Playing on Fairlina was a nightmare trying to find a Resto Shaman. Benediction has so many more Resto Shamans, which is nice. As Alliance, all right.
There was one clip I wanted to talk about. One of my clips.
Hold on, let me pull it up. Is the one you DM me?
Yeah, and there's a couple on the document too that are pretty crazy. But there's one in specific I think that is like probably very useful for a lot of people to see.
I will pull up the one that you DM'd me.
Yeah. Pull that up. Man, Camp just wrecking people in this clip.
He really do be.
With the Soul Cleaver too, dude.
The Soul Cleaver? So what's up with this clip, sir? What is it?
Okay, so we get the priest low. He PSs. We repent and we wait out the PS. And I bought my shaman we do NS Chain Lightning Twist, and just finish them off. And like this is the kind of cookie cutter play against any priest team.
Let's
Is like
slow it down so that everybody can see here.
you kind of get him low. He's gonna have to PS. You repent and you just wait out the PS and let your swing timer kind of reset and get a twist ready with like a stop attack.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just bubble.
So
If
he's
you're
repped now.
He's repped.
Mm-hmm.
PS
Pull out
is
the
falling
bop.
off. Bop to Shaman. He NS or he chain lightnings, and I just big twist and he's dead.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Have
this
you-
kind of better play. Like anytime you're playing against a priest, this is kind of how you want to finish the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
have you guys figured out a way to get Repentance cast to trigger a swing reset on your weapon swing timers?
It doesn't work properly. Like we have a couple. So if I'm using my swing timer and updated version of weak auras, repent is like the only thing that doesn't really work.
It's so dumb. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I,
mean,
just
we
literally watch my
even-
event
we-
cooldown. That's all you can really do, I think.
Yeah.
we have a fix in the if you go in the Discord, you go to the add-ons channel and you go into the pins, there's like a fix in there. It's like a file you can put in your weak auras folder. And if you do that, it's gonna fix things like parry haste
Oh,
and
really?
divine
Okay.
shield, attack speed penalty, seal of the Crusader. It'll fix those messing up your swing timer, but it doesn't fix repent, unfortunately. So
Okay. Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about making another. I was thinking about making
Ooh.
another. That was a big one.
This double sack, right? He's got 2 sacks that got him out of both things, with the initial
Yeah.
sap and that blind right there.
Yeah.
That just goes. Go
That
ahead.
is awesome.
No. Go ahead.
I mean, that just goes to show like the power of sacrifice, right? I mean, keeping that off a cooldown, even if it does get dispelled, I mean, it's just another dispel protection, right? I mean, it's just so good.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, man, I just thought of like Arcane Shot dispelling it too. It's Arcane Shot getting a dispel. I was so annoyed whenever they added that in.
Yeah, right.
Back in the day. But yeah, no, I was thinking like maybe one option is if we can make a weak aura that sets a timer, like a 3 point whatever second, like see if you can set it like to match your swing speed. I might make a weak aura for that.
That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
literally just thought of that. I don't know why I don't know why I never thought of that before.
That's actually a
but,
great idea. We'll have to see what we. I mean, it's definitely possible. So
yeah.
there's like 2 other clips that I wanted to take a look at if possible. Well, yeah, we can watch this one first. This is what Calamera.
No, this is Bonnie. Bonnie is
Bonnie.
an old endless gamer for sure. Yeah, he loves PvP, man. This man loves putting together one-shot clips, huh? Oh my god, was that a dodge?
Dude, this guy has like 400 clips in the Discord. I
Oh,
swear.
he's got so many. I mean, he PvPs a lot, dude. I mean, even on Endless, I remember seeing him. He was just constantly PvPing. He's like, yo, when are you going to PvP? I'm like, no.
If
man.
anybody is thinking about pulling the trigger to play Ret in PvP, this is the video to watch. Like, guy just one-shotting everybody, like a big highlight reel.
Yeah.
I have to ask you guys though. I mean, I think it's very simple to be very mediocre at Ret Shaman and get yourself up to 1800, 1900, even 2K rating with just minor coordination.
Mm-hmm.
Kenneth, is there anything that you could give out as a tip to people who would like to improve their playstyles? Because, like at 2K rating, I think I play Ret fairly well, but I find it really hard. I'm really struggling with trying to get together with my shaman. Whereas, like I said earlier, I line up pretty well with St. George,
So-
but I line up nowhere with my shaman.
Yeah.
Both Shaman and Ret have like big holes in their kit, right? Compared to Rogue or Mage or Priest, like we don't even really count as a full class. We're missing too many things. So it's really important for you as the Ret, for example, to be calling for your Shaman when you need the slows, when you need the interrupts, when you need the purges, because you don't have those things because you're half a class. And the Shaman needs to understand, when he needs freedom and when he needs bop and be able to call for those things. It's a lot of like, and just trusting the Shaman's call when he asks for the bop or the freedom.
I think the biggest things that separate like an okay Ret team from like a really good Ret team is like a lot of amateur Rets will just spam sacrifice and it'll just get dispelled and they'll get CC'd. And like being able to hold it for when you see a polycast or when you think blind's about to go out is a really valuable skill and is something that is hard to master, but it's like really what separates like an okay Ret from a really, really good Ret is just their use of sacrifice well. And I think also I mean, like 75% of playing with a shaman is like, is the shaman good? Are they
I
helping?
was gonna say, I think the shaman is it's very reliant on the shaman in
Yeah.
a lot of ways.
It's not as bad as the Ret Shaman 3's comps are just ridiculously focused on the Shaman, especially Ret Arms Resto, because that comp is all the attention from the enemy team is on the Shaman, all the interrupts, all the CCs. So it's just miserable for him. But in 2s, it's not quite as bad. And the most important thing, I think, is just for the Shaman to realize how aggressive he needs to be. Most
Yeah,
Shamans
like you see Liam
starting
here,
off
he's
will not be
staying.
aggressive enough.
You see Liam here, he's staying on top of the kill target. He's applying pressure with his paladin. You know, I think positioning is a huge thing, and the shaman needs to kind of be a second melee. Like they need to be on top of the kill target with you, within reason. Like if you're up against a mage, that you don't want to have them getting double novad with you, but you know, they need to be like I think a lot of things that beginner shamans don't really understand when they're playing with a Ret is they need to be on top of the kill target with you so that if they get slowed or whatever, they're still going to be able to purge, they're still going to be able to earth shock, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, something Killawave says a lot is that like I don't really even kill anyone in a lot of against a lot of comps. It's him who's killing him.
Yeah.
Like without the purges, without the
You're
interrupt,
setting it up
it'll just
for
never
him,
happen.
right?
Yeah,
Like you're getting them
Yeah.
low, you're getting the Hodges and the
and
repents.
also never be afraid to just send NS damage as the shaman too. The
Yeah.
NS are very nice.
So
Yeah.
there's just 2 clips I wanted to show from my. Oh wait, this is Vinny. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This is freaking lit, dude.
Yeah,
This is the crazy one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is freaking lit, bro. Oh my god, I love this clip so much. He's just blasting the whole team just gets utterly destroyed by this guy, right? Like
That's
Jesus.
nuts.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
and
he
then
just goes like-
there's the dodge.
Dude, that
Oh my
is
God.
so funny.
He
the
just
sound
goes
is
like-
gosh.
the sound is muted in this clip, but I just know Animal I've Become is going on in the
he
background.
just goes
in the
like
background, right? And that's just
yeah.
Warcraft produced.
He's just
That
going
is
from
so
person to person
funny.
to person, one-shotting them like
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, right.
Over and over again. Oh, that's
This
funny.
is so beautiful, man. Like this is like once in a lifetime luck to get just twist after twist after twist after Reck proc after Reck proc.
Yeah. Which clips did you want to talk about, Serve? While we got some questions here. Is there an add-on or a weak aura that shows all of your melee and seal procs with Wind Fury? Seems like when I get hits, seems like when I get all my hits, it doesn't show up on my UI.
Oh yeah. Okay, so there used to be like there was a scrolling combat text.
MSBT. Yeah, MSBT.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
doesn't
I don't
what I
use it
use.
anymore, but I use that on private servers. Like I had like the vanilla version of it, and that's what I did so I could see everything for like reckoning in vanilla. But I haven't been using that in classic.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
MSBT is nice. It does the job. I really would love a weak aura that just like takes all your melees, all your seals, and adds them together, and just puts one number on your screen for how much the twist hit for.
Yeah, it'd
But
be nice.
there's just nothing like that out there as far as.
So does MSBT does it allow it to look just like the WoW damage though?
No, it scrolls up like on the right side or like wherever you put a scroll window somewhere and it scrolls up over
Yeah.
there. It doesn't go over their head, unfortunately.
See, I wish it just had that.
Yeah, I'd far prefer that.
Yeah.
I tried MSBT for a little bit, and I actually didn't really like it. I loved seeing the big numbers right above somebody's head. I mean, it felt like I was
Yeah.
actually doing something to him, you know?
Well,
Like,
I use both. I use
That's-
MSBT and I have the damage over top the Blizzard damage.
Yeah.
So here
yeah.
I sent you a couple clips. I have too many. I was just trying to look through them all to see the ones I wanted to show off, but
Oh shit.
yeah, there's those whatever of those 3. I guess the first one's kind of the coolest one. Cuz like, we talk a lot about getting one-shotting people, but like when you have a legit one-shot where they're pretty much full health,
Mhm.
it's like boom,
Oof.
Rogue gives me reckoning right there and
Yeah.
just goodbye.
I think playing against Priest Rogue is like the most fun for Reckoning
Yes.
because the Rogue will just sit there and just try as hard as he can just to put as much damage to you, but you're just sitting there just collecting all the Reckonings, just auto attacking the Priest, and he's just sweating trying to heal.
Yeah, and also that's arguably like the best twos comp in the game, right? Disc Priest Rogue. So being able to have such a strong matchup against it is really fun.
It's like 70% of the ladder is Priest Rogue, so
Yeah.
I got a question real quick. I guess we can kind of just while we watch these clips, like kind of transition into the Q&A. So are there any other really viable options for Ret and twos aside from Arsham? I know we definitely talked a lot about Ret Rogue. Ret Rogue is definitely viable, and it is rank 1 viable as well. There's one team in rank 1 range right now playing it, a Russian team. And I think Ret Mage also has some good viability. I don't know if it's probably not a rank 1 team, but you can easily get 2K with Ret Frost Mage. I mean, even Ret Palm Pyro, but definitely Frost is preferred. Definitely works. And then Blayst got 2K.
Ret Priest, Ret Disc.
Ret Priest. Yeah,
that
Ret
was
Disc.
a lot of fun. It was a little bit different. You play. Yeah, you did like kind of chain your CCs, what little CCs you have. You know, you'd go in and get a fear, maybe try to get a trinket or something like that, and then try to do the CCs with both the Hodge and the Rep. Maybe try and get another trinket if it didn't occur, and then you would try to get a kill on that second fear when it comes up in 30 seconds. It was a lot of fun, and you know the disc I was playing with, you know, Giga. So I mean, I don't think I could pick up a disc off the street and do the same thing, right? But I mean, it's a fun comp, right? You know, minus no Wind Fury.
The problem you're gonna run into with a lot of these like comps that aren't Ret Sham is that there's just not a lot of info out there about how to play them right and how to play them well against certain comps.
Also, unless you have like a rogue or a mage or whatever tied up in your basement, it's really hard to convince them to play with Ret when they can go play Ret Rogue or Rogue Priest or Rogue Mage or like any of those just
Rogue
ridiculously
Druid,
good comps.
Moby is St. George? Is he tied up in your basement? Do we know? I mean,
It should be
pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's part of why like Ret Resto works so well is just because it's like you know no one wants to play with a Resto Shaman, no one wants to play with a Ret, but together you got to kind of.
I don't think St. George is too upset about it. I mean, they got 2,500, right? So they're doing pretty good.
Oh, they're doing very good for sure.
Yeah. Well,
also, like,
he doesn't have a lot of time, so queuing as Ret Rogue into maximum 1-minute games works pretty well for him. He hasn't touched a single raid in TBC.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, he's got to get himself some glaives, dude.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I know.
St. George.
That's Grayson's problem. Grayson can't get a skull Gul'dan. Like, think about how big of a disadvantage that's going to be down the road as more and more people get Skull Gul'dan as casters.
Yeah.
Him not having that as a mage is going to be rough because that's like he can basically get like enough haste gear in general to where he has like a free Icy Veins up at all times pretty soon.
Killwave's the same way. I cannot convince that guy to do PvE no matter how hard I try. Offering free raid spots and everything. And Crystal Spire is basically a legendary for Resto Shaman, so that's gonna hurt me literally.
There was a game that last clip was going up against Tetsu, and at the end of the game, my warrior is like, "Hey, that was Tetsu." I was like, "Oh," but I was like, I didn't even realize it was Tetsu until actually it was like a day later. What is the guy's name? Gorthax. He put it in a highlight compilation reel.
Yeah.
He was like Sir versus Tetsu, and I was like, "Oh, that was Tetsu."
Nice. Yeah, Gorthax is actually my editor for my YouTube channel.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, he's
wow.
my YouTube channel. Yeah, he's in Ukraine, so he's going through all kinds of stuff right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I talked to him a few days ago though. Yeah, he's doing okay, him and his family. But I'm kind of trying to keep up with him as much as possible to make sure he's doing fine.
Yeah. Shit, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hearts for Gorthax. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you watch like WoW content on YouTube, there's no way you haven't seen like a Gorthax highlight compilation at some point, especially if you watch like classic content. So
yeah.
Oh, he must be editor for a lot of people. I mean, apparently it's pre-foxes as well. That's.
He probably makes a bunch of money from it too.
I bet.
I'm sure he does a lot of editing.
Well, honestly, guys, I absolutely loved this, and it was a lot of fun. And I appreciate each and every one of you. You know, Esfand, I really appreciate you coming on here, man, coming and talking about
I loved
Ret and
it. It was
stuff
fun.
like Can, Moby, I very much appreciate you guys being here too. We got some very high ranked Rets here.
Did we have any like questions that we want to answer real quick from the chat, or
I didn't see any.
Really?
I didn't see any questions. It was mostly just link Rec Week Auras, which guys, by the way, will be linking Rec Week Auras on the YouTube video for sure.
Yeah, in the description we'll put a bunch of stuff that can help you guys PvP.
Yep.
Week auras, add-ons, all kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. So any last words? Any last thoughts, Esfand, about Ret or TBC or Wrath coming up?
Not really. I'm excited. I think this is the most fun I've ever had playing WoW. At any point, at any level, everything. Burning Crusade Classic has been unreal. Like getting to do all the seal twisting and us getting Seal of Blood and everything. But another thing too is I'm really happy that you guys are doing what you're doing, right? Because this is how I got started streaming. Initially, it was me and Drakova doing these doing Ret Paladin videos, and eventually I started talking about more about classic WoW in general, and we were really pushing for like legacy servers, right? Especially whenever the announcement itself happened, it was the WoW Classic waiting room and this and that. But it's cool to see that even though I don't do it as much anymore, I still have like a big appreciation to see other people doing that, and you guys are doing a great job with like the Ret Paladin info and stuff that sometimes I wish I could still do it, but it's just cool to see that you guys have been doing such a really good job at it, and there's people supporting you guys, and I don't know, it just makes me feel good because that's how I got started like 5 years ago.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm sure we all do. Yeah.
We've tried to make Light Club a really good place for, I think as far as class discords go, I think Light Club is one of the best at really helping beginners understand what to do to be a really good player, especially when it comes to PvE, PvP. Like we've put a lot of effort. Like if you go into, I guess this probably deserves a mention, but if you go into the Light Club Discord and you go down to the PvP channel, and by the way, this will be linked in the description for everybody watching on YouTube, but if you go to the PvP channel and you click on threads, we actually have a guide for every single matchup in twos, how to play against them as Ret Sham, and that's helped me tremendously in just how to figure out different comps that I might not know. So yeah, I think we have a lot of great resources there for people that want to pick up Ret and want to start from ground zero and just get into the swing of things. So
Can, any last thoughts?
No, I'm good.
No?
I just want to shield my boy Killawave stream. Other than that, nothing.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna start streaming.
I might somewhere down the line. I'm not 100% sure. If there's demand, I will. But he's streaming, so
you should stream.
I'm pretty sure there's demand for a rank 1 Reckoning Paladin stream.
100%.
Pretty sure.
100%. You would get views. For sure.
Yeah, as I said, I might at some point, but he definitely is. So I want to shield his.
Gotcha. Moby, last thoughts?
Nothing in particular. I love seeing more Ret Rogues, and if anyone feels like learning, I try to stream all of our sessions. So feel free to tune in or watch the VODs. Yeah, thanks for having me again.
And that's over at Mobywan's with a Z at the end, right?
Yes.
Yeah, someone stole the nickname.
Oh,
Yeah.
We'll escalated after I made that TVC movie.
We'll put a link in. We'll put a link in.
Dude, I had the same thing with me, right? I have to be
music streaming.
I have to be the real Blayst, right? I can't be just Blayst. Someone stole my actual name, It's
I couldn't get Surveillant either, so I had to put my guild after Surveillant. Yikes! Not that that's a bad thing. I like to show my guild a lot because they're good guys. But
I've got Canitnerd, but I'm not using it.
Well, honestly, guys, I very much appreciate it. And next podcast, I'm not really sure what we're doing. Maybe we get a little bit of Swedge in here. Maybe I was talking to Swedge.
He could share his thesis on Red Paladin seal twisting in raid, because the guy literally is creating like a whole thesis on Red Paladin seal twisting. Like I've seen the documents and it is great. It's like literally like a grad student paper. It's nuts.
Yeah, no, it's insane. But I mean, leaving it this, guys, Esfand, Canit, Moby, I very much love you guys coming on here. Much love. Very much appreciate it.
Yeah,
great
episode. That was super fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, with
Yeah,
that,
thanks, guys.
I would
think
love to
that-
have you guys on again in the future.
Yep, absolutely.
Maybe a couple months down the line, we'll do a season 4 episode. Get you guys on again.
Ooh, season 4
Oh, yeah,
with
love
that
it.
expertise, you know. That right, I could do it.
Yeah.
But with that, guys, I appreciate it, and I guess I'll talk to you guys later, and we'll all see you then.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see
Yep.
you guys later.
Yeah,
Have a
see
good
ya.
one, everyone.
Peace, guys.
Deuces.
Bye.